ESPN, celebrating our 10th season as your home for Major League Baseball.
There is no greater test than the test of time. To last for an entire century is almost preposterous. Yet, baseball has been there from 1900 to 1999. That's because it can regenerate itself through the years, through the decades, through the scores. The Babe became Big Mac and Sammy. The Iron Horse became Iron Cow. The Big Train became the Rocket Man. Say Hey Kid became Junior Griffey. Teddy Ballgame became Tony Gwynn. Now Joltin' Joe is left and gone away. He can rest assured that his torch will be carried to a new generation by men who understand his class and his dignity. How do we know? From the dark days of a seriesless 1994, just 4 years later, came last season.
There it goes! Can you count to 70? Swung on! Deep! Mark McGuire! You got company! 27 up! 27 down! Baseball immortality! Down there! 20 strikeouts! Look at Kendall! Is it safe? Ho, ho, ho! Ball game over! World Series over! Oh, Yankees win!
It's been our pleasure at ESPN to share the ride for 10 years. Now then, for the final time in the 20th century, we present opening day for Major League Baseball.
Always delighted to have you with us for opening day baseball. The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Los Angeles Dodgers go at it here in Southern California. And the colors and the people are all out on an absolutely magnificent day for baseball here in L.A. with lots of changes in Major League Baseball. None more than a couple of the pitchers we're going to see here. Kevin Brown will be making the start, the 34-year-old who had been with San Diego. Kevin Brown, who went 18-7 last year. Can he get the Dodgers over the top to a world championship? And for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the big left-hander, 35-year-old Randy Johnson. Can he take them over the top? And the winningest manager percentage-wise among all active managers, Davey Johnson, is now in the dugout for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And throwing out the first pitch, 50 consecutive years with the Los Angeles Dodger, Brooklyn Dodger organization, Hall of Famer Vin Scully. And he said, I won't throw it all the way to the plate, so he got a little help on the relay. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame. PA announcer Mike Carlucci.
And now to honor America, please remain standing and remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem, to be performed by a man who truly loves L.A. Please welcome Grammy and Emmy Award winner and 8-time Oscar nominee, Randy Newman. Randy will be accompanied by Nancy B. Heffley on the Dodger Stadium, Baldwin, Oregon.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wait o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
They release the Doves so that they can follow all the home runs that are going to be hit this year. Welcome, everybody. Los Angeles is the place, and it is opening day. Diamondbacks are in town. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, and a pitching matchup they've been talking about ever since these guys changed teams.
Well, besides the dollars, these two guys can really go to the well. They have great stuff. Dominating pitchers. Randy Johnson, the big unit. He struggled in Seattle last year. He was having contract problems. When he went to Houston, he was his dominant self. He led the majors in strikeouts last year with 329. Kevin Brown, on the other hand, he has had the best ERA in baseball the last 3 years. Ever since coming to the National League, he has absolutely dominated. This guy, $105 million. The Dodgers think he's worth it. I don't know if anybody is, but I'll tell you what, you got two of the greatest pitchers in baseball, and on top of that, this is the toughest park in baseball to score runs. It figures to be low scoring.
My paycheck against your paycheck. Game 1, Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Over 57,000 will be on hand here at Dodger Stadium to see Randy Johnson start today, the big left-hander, against Kevin Brown of the Dodgers. We got it for you.
ESPN's Major League Baseball is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the 3 most important words are, hey, beer man. And by Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
And welcome back, everybody. You play baseball in Southern California just because days are like this more often than not. It is a magnificent day. There'll be some high clouds about, but lots of sunshine. Temperature probably around 72, 73 degrees on the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. We'll open it up here in Game 1 for these two teams, and the Arizona Diamondbacks have been retooled. Steve Finley making the start in center field. Jay Bell's moved over to second base, used to play at shortstop. He loves playing second base. He's happy to be there. That may have shown up in those spring training numbers that he put up. Travis Lee will try and replicate some of the rookie numbers he has put up. Matt Williams back at third base. Luis Gonzalez will be in left field. Bernard Gilkey, the veteran, moves to right field for this start in this game. Bautista's at shortstop. The youngster gets to play, and Stinnett will do the catching. Great story there, Kelly Stinnett, and of course Randy Johnson's on the mound.
Only 2 starters from last year for the Diamondbacks. Jay Bell opened at shortstop. Matt Williams is playing at first base, and of course Travis Lee, he's at first base. He was the Diamondback who got the first RBI, first run scored, first home run, and first hit last year at Bank One Ballpark. So Kevin Brown waiting to go out and start his first game as a Dodger. 3rd different team he's been with in 3 years, and he'll be trying to be the first pitcher in Major League history to lead 3 different teams into the World Series 3 years in a row.
Both of these pitchers feature enormous intensity that managers just love to have. Both these managers were talking about that before the start of the game, and they have been all the spring training. Buck Showalter, 4 years, manager of the New York Yankees, of course, came over a year before the Diamondbacks actually started play, Dave, to take over as manager and help build this club.
Well, Kevin Brown's going to try to put the Diamondbacks in a hole like they were last year. The Diamondbacks got out of the gate 8-31. They played very respectable baseball the rest of the year. But like the Dodgers, one of the biggest spending teams in the offseason, they've upgraded their pitching staff tremendously. They've added some offensive punch in the outfield. And the Diamondbacks, the first 10 games they play this year, they got 3 here in L.A. They go to Atlanta for 3, and then they got the Dodgers at home for 4. Their first 10 are against the 2 teams figuring to, a lot of people figure, are going to meet in the National League playoffs this year.
That's a very tough start, tough way to kick it off. They lost their first opener last year. Colorado beat them by a score of 9-2 at the Bank One Ballpark. Umpires out. Davey Johnson, of course, the new manager now for the Los Angeles Dodgers, out handing over a lineup card again.
Well, the defense of the Dodgers, a lot of people feel this is a subpar defensive club, and that might hurt them. Devon White, 7 Gold Gloves in center, and Raul Mondesi, 2 in right. Those guys are superior defenders. Adrian Beltre at third base, they say, has a chance to be a great third baseman. He is a little bit erratic, but they think with experience, he's going to become a great player. Grzelcyk, the shortstop, spent about a month and a half this offseason with Bucky Dent, a coach with the Texas Rangers down in Florida, working on defense. It paid off in spring training. He only made one error. But if there's any question on the Dodgers, it's probably the defense and perhaps their bullpen.
Well, these two pitchers obviously have been talked about for so long going against one another in this opener. They both knew it was going to happen. Kevin Brown will make the start on one side for the Dodgers. Randy Johnson, the guy who'll be against him, about pitching against Kevin Brown.
Well, if Kevin and myself weren't making the money we were making, we're still both very competitive. I'm sure he believes, and I know I believe, that we're some of the best pitchers in the game, and so it doesn't matter how much money I'm making, and I'm sure it doesn't matter how much money he's making. We're not thinking about that when we're out there to pitch.
Their head-to-head matchup in their career, of course, the most famous one was in the playoffs, Game 1 last year when Johnson was pitching for Houston and Kevin Brown for the San Diego Padres.
You can feel the excitement, Dave, of the fans and the ball players, too. The clubs recognize these two pitchers make an enormous difference. The fans know that if these teams are going to compete for a world championship, that these two have got to be on all year. So there's a real electricity about it just here in day one. Bruce Fleming will be the home plate umpire, the veteran working the plate today. The crew will be Mark Hirschbeck, Ed Rapuano. Those are three veterans. Mark Wagner will be one of the new umpires who has made it to the major league level this season. He will be at third base and the rookie, if you will, in this umpiring group.
And we'll keep an eye. Of course, there was a lot discussed about the strike zone. Most people said they didn't see a lot of changes in spring training. Both these guys like to keep the ball down.
Interesting for the Los Angeles Dodgers in Kevin Brown as far as that ground ball number is concerned. You see the magnificent record he put up with the San Diego Padres, who went to the World Series last year. Only 49 walks, 257 strikeouts, hits below innings pitched, which is something you always want to have.
Well, in addition to the great sinker ball, maybe the best in all of baseball, he started throwing more of a four-seam rider last year. That's what really upset the Astros when he struck out 16. Kevin Brown also features a great slider, and he came up with a split finger pitch last year. He's the total package right now, and he's durable.
Dave, I was going to say, one of the interesting things is that the Dodgers infield may be a little suspect as far as their defense is concerned. Ironic that would be the case when you have a great ground ball pitcher on the mound. Will that hurt him? Because you've got some youngsters. Beltre starting at third. We're underway. Grzelcyk, a lot of errors at short. Young is good at second. And Eric Karros at first base, average player at first base. Steve Findlay takes the pitch up high and a quick 2-0 count.
Well, even when the Dodgers were in their heyday, back with Say, Garvey, Lopes, and Russell, that was not a great defensive infield. But if your pitchers strike out enough guys and you got great stuff, you get a lot of pop-ups. Keep the ball off the ground.
He works in a hurry. Kevin Brown to Findlay, and he misses away, and he falls behind early. 3 balls and no strikes on Findlay. 49 walks in 257 innings. He was second in innings pitched last season in the league. Both these guys are workhorses. 3-0, Findlay will be taking right down the middle.
Be sure the adrenaline is pumping on both these guys. Very unusual for Kevin Brown to get behind a leadoff batter 3-0. Let's see if he can come all the way back.
Findlay, 34 years old, 275 career hitter. Takes that one towards center field. That'll be hauled in by Devon White, who'll do some patrolling out there for L.A. in center. Findlay's out of there, 1 down.
Batting second, number 34.
Well, Devon White figures to roam pretty well. He's healthy this year. He was pretty much last year with the Diamondbacks. Previous year in Florida, he was nicked up quite a bit, but he's a great professional in center field.
He can roam. Jay Bell. So a nice comeback by Brown after falling behind. He gets the strike on the inside corner to Bell, who makes the start. Second base, as we said, he moved over from the shortstop position, where he'd played virtually all of his pro career. Pitch is taken down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Unusual that Bell has pretty good lifetime numbers. I say that because once in a while a left-handed batter will have decent numbers, but Bell is 7 for 17 against Brown.
Takes that fastball and fouls it right straight back, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Bell. Bell, we were talking with him before the game, Dave. See the glasses that he wears. He thought about having some of that laser surgery to correct the astigmatism and nearsightedness and maybe go that way, and ultimately decided to stay with the glasses. 1-2. A lot of athletes, now that laser surgery is available, have taken advantage of it. Try and get their eyes back to 20/20 or close to it.
Yeah, Bernard Gilkey, who's in the lineup today for the Diamondbacks, had it. He had a little bit different surgery this winter. Gilkey, who is farsighted, is that correct? He has trouble seeing close up, so he actually had to go to Canada to have the surgery done because it wasn't approved yet here. Now it is approved here.
Medical knowledge, we just spew it out. 3-2 delivery towards third, played by Beltry. And the young third baseman gets in the record book for this 1999 year, and there's one of the ground ball outs. We'll see lots of those today.
Well, Beltry had a sensational spring with a bat. He's out of the Dominican Republic and one of those 5-tool youngsters. So many of them coming out of that country. They play baseball all day long. Gloves, sets up, makes a strong throw across to Karros. 2 up, 2 down for Brown in the first.
So Brown's got a chance for the 1-2-3 inning here, and he'll take on Travis Lee. 2 for 8 against Brown in his career. First ball hitting White towards the gap in center's got room. So Kevin Brown responds. If the infield is a little suspect defensively, the outfield isn't. He'll get a couple of fly ball outs instead. Sets them down in order. Dodger Stadium, 38th year for this organization. The Dodgers going back to 1890 in Brooklyn, and then of course on to Los Angeles, and this great tradition continues. 1999 Los Angeles Dodgers. Their lineup will look like this, as Davey Johnson will have Eric Young at second base, Mark Grudzielanek at short, Gary Sheffield in left. Raul Mondesi makes the start in right, Devon White in center, Eric Karros at first. Kind of surprising that Todd Hundley's going to be out there doing the catching. Questions all spring whether or not he'd be ready. He is. Adrian Beltre will be at third. Kevin Brown pitches.
Well, the big unit, 10-1 last year with the Houston Astros. Those are his overall numbers, and again, he led the major leagues. Great fastball, terrific slider, terrific competitor. We expect a great matchup today, and I suspect we're going to get it.
Always talk about his great fastball, but that slider's been ranked by great hitters like Tony Gwynn as maybe the best slider they've ever seen.
Yeah, Tony doesn't like that pitch.
No.
In fact, there are very few left-handed batters in baseball who like that pitch.
Young leads it off, and a pitch taken away. He will bunt. That will cause Matt Williams at third base to move in. Eric Young has good speed, third in stolen bases last year. Takes the fastball up high, so both Johnson and Brown with the early opening day jitters go high on the first 2 pitches.
Dodgers have all right-handed batters in the lineup. A couple of switch hitters that'll bat right-handed.
Reason for that, left-handers hit 181 against Randy Johnson last year, and right-handers 228. Not that that's a great number, but at least a little better, and he didn't want to do that. So the space stealer is on for the Dodgers.
Checking the defense, playing behind Randy Johnson. Shortstop is Tony Batista. He played second base quite a bit of last year. And Jay Bell, who played shortstop most of the year, is going to play second base. See them at double play depth right now. New outfield, Finley, Gonzalez, and Gilkey. And with Batista and Bell switching positions, both of them adjusted last year. They're both shortstops by trade.
Mark Grudzielanek up. Matt Williams thinks he too might try and move Eric Young over. Young takes off. First pitch. Throw down by Stinnett. Stolen base. First of the year. He was flying.
Well, Eric Young had 42 steals last year and missed 43 ball games. He thought he had something red. Davey Johnson being aggressive. Buck Showalter doesn't want to get behind by a run here in the first inning. So Eric Young, well over 200 stolen bases in the last 6 years, gets a stolen base.
Mark Grudzielanek gets an RBI opportunity. He was great in these situations last year. Grudzielanek hit high in the order, but still hit 265 with runners in scoring position, which for guys generally up there in the top part of the order is not bad. You want to be over 300 if you're going to be among the elite of the game with runners in scoring position, but not many get there. Young off second. Breaking ball, took something off it, caught the outside corner.
Mr. Snappy. Well, again, Gary mentioned what left-handed batters do, 181 last year. And remember, only the very best left-handed batters hit against Johnson.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're sitting watching and usually happy to be doing it. Grudzielanek, 1-ball, 2-strike count. Bautista moving in behind at short to hold that runner, and the pitch is taken up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's last season. Career-wise, lefties 195 against Johnson. And again, he faces only the very best from the left side. The rest of the guys are come up with Johnsonitis now and then.
2-2 count. Young, good lead at second base. Grudzielanek, the off-speed pitch. You see him hesitate on that swing. When you're up against a guy that throws as hard as Randy Johnson does, it is really tough to hold back on an off-speed pitch. He almost fell over.
Yeah, the other thing, though, Grudzielanek, you got to give him credit. Even with 2 strikes on him, he's trying to hit the ball to the right side. He almost hit that one right out of Stinnett's mitt.
329 strikeouts for Randy Johnson last year. And he's going to chalk one up right there. Number 1 on the season for Johnson. That's career strikeout 2,330 for the big unit.
Well, he leads all of the majors the last 10 years. The good thing for Grudzielanek is he really did try in those last 2 swings to hit the ball to the right side. He does make pretty good contact generally, but then again, generally you're not facing Randy Johnson.
So now with 1 down, Young remains on at second base. With that great speed, a base hit, Young will come around in a hurry. Gary Sheffield batting third in the lineup for the Dodgers. 22 homers, 85 RBIs last year with LA and Florida. His dismantling of the Marlins the year before last, dismantling of San Diego this year.
Keep an eye on Eric Young at second base. Man, 1 out, right-handed batter up. If Johnson doesn't pay attention to him with that high leg kick, Eric may try to steal third base.
Kelly Stinnett, the catcher, 30% effective in throwing out base stealers last year. He's got a quick release, strong arm. Towering pop-up infield. Glasses go down. Matt Williams, third baseman. And there are 2 down. So Johnson gets the pop-up off that heat.
Well, Randy was able to freeze Eric Young at second base. Now with 2 outs, it's going to be up to Mondesi to see if he can give the Dodgers a lead. Obviously, runs are going to be at a premium today.
That's why Davey Johnson started out aggressive here with the Dodgers, getting Young on with a walk, and then first pitch he stole second base. 30 homers, 90 RBIs. Raul Mondesi had a tremendous season. He moves back to right field after playing center field last year. Under Davey Johnson, he'll have a lot of RBI opportunities. A lot of people moving probably on the bases in front of him the way Johnson manages. And Mondesi, one of the game's really outstanding hitters now.
He really is. He still does not take too many walks, only 30 last year, but he's aggressive. You like to have that in an RBI position.
Mondesi takes that high breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, the first indication that we may see the pitch above the belt being called. Bruce Fleming rang that one up.
Waiting, hoping for some help, Kevin Brown. No score here in the first inning. 2 down. And the 1-1 fastballs. He set him up for the inside fastball that time, but he missed it. 2-1.
Randy's last start in spring training was against the White Sox AAA team. He'd had a groin strain, but threw 90 pitches in that game. Pitched no-hit ball for 6 innings. So at that point, Diamondbacks said, and Randy said, I'm ready for opening day.
2-1 delivery. Runner at second base. He is not going to be on a pitch count today, but they don't want him throwing 130, 140, or anything even close to it. If he gets close to 100 pitches in this game, Buck Showalter said before the game, said we're not on a real pitch count, but that's as far as I'm letting him go.
That's nasty. 1-0 slider, 2 ball, 1 strike slider. Now what? Fastball in? Yep. No fair.
3-2. Now Mondesi with a chance to bring in the first Dodger run of this new year. Mondesi hit only .224 last year with runners in scoring position. Not good.
Well, figure Randy may go back to the slider again. Every time he's needed to throw a strike, that's been his best strike pitch in the inning.
Johnson, first appearance against the Dodgers ever. Foul back over the screen. 3 ball, 2 strike count.
That's why I hit a .150 in my career. I'd have been looking slider, and he threw a fastball.
The repertoire that both of these starters today have is oft times forgotten. Don't forget it. The hitters don't. Both of them can throw real hard, but they can also mix it up with sliders, sinkers, curves. That one, base hit. Young on the fly. Luis Gonzalez makes the throw to the plate. Cut off. Williams at second, and they'll get the out. Raul Mondesi with an RBI single to run cross. Before, Mondesi was thrown out trying to extend it, inning over, but Mondesi's got an RBI, and the Dodgers have a lead. Raul Mondesi, who led the Dodgers offensively last year, gives them the 1-0 lead with his first RBI, bringing home Young, who had walked and stolen second.
Not a bad gamble by Mondesi. Johnson throws him 2 consecutive fastballs. Gonzalez hits the cutoff man, Matt Williams, gets it down to the second baseman, Jay Bell. But with 2 outs, that's not a bad play by Mondesi. It also forces them to cut the ball off. Just good execution by the Diamondbacks, cuts him down.
So Mondesi comes through. Davey Johnson's got to love that half inning. Gets his leadoff man on with a walk. First pitch, steals second. Gets his number 4 hitter to deliver an RBI single when the count's full.
Yeah, difference in the inning. Kevin Brown was able to come back from a 3-0 count on Finley and retire him, but Johnson walked Eric Young on 4 straight, and the stolen base set up the run.
And so Matt Williams will lead it off as we go to the second inning. Cleanup hitter, right-handed batter with a big cut. And strike 1 from Kevin Brown.
Nasty slider starting off. Matty really finished up spring training with a bang. Hit .560 in his last 25 at-bats. And he's gone back to the more of an open stance he had when he was with the Giants.
33-year-old third baseman comes in with a .264 career batting average into this season, but he steps out after a couple of those pitches. He's behind 0-2.
I'll tell you what, if Kevin Brown could throw that slider there every pitch, hitters would hit about a .020 against him for the season.
And strike 3 called, Dave. That looked like that might have been one of those high strikes too. It looks like Bruce Fleming is going to give the pitchers that high strike.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 2 sliders and a fastball. Let's see the height of the pitch. Nah, that's definitely in the strike zone. Matty's probably thinking slider. That ball was about belt high.
So the strikeout, the first for Kevin Brown. He finished with 257. He had a strikeout per inning, exactly. He pitched 257 innings. He had 257 strikeouts, along with a great 2.38 earned run average. And he gets another strike in, Luis Gonzalez.
You know, Brownie started out throwing ball 1, 2, and 3, but since then he's been right on the money with the control.
Oh, 1 delivery, and the fastball is taken up high. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. First of our triple header today in St. Louis. Mark McGuire. That'll be our second game as they open up at home. Down to third. That's going to be a base hit. Down the line, Gary Sheffield over to get it onto second base. Gonzalez. Sheffield's throw not in time, and it is a double. Speaking of other action, Trey Wingo.
All right, Gary, EA Sports takes it to the ballpark. Tigers and Rangers. Brian Moeller, and unlikely an ace as you'll ever see, gets Tom Goodwin to ground out to second. He has got a no-hitter through 6, 4 strikeouts, and he's also got an 11-0 lead, guys.
Yow.
A lot of people thought Justin Thompson might start the opener. It looks like Larry Parrish pushed the right buttons. Brian Moeller, no-hitter through 6, 11. Rick Helling must have had a tough start.
Runner on at second base and 1 down here. The double picked up by Gonzalez. That'll bring up Bernard Gilkey. See the numbers put up by Gilkey last year, but Gilkey was bothered all season long with injuries that kept him out of the lineup. 32 years old now. Gilkey takes the slider down and away. Bernard Gilkey hoping to get back and have a full year, and that could make a huge difference. Played last season in only 29 games after coming over from the New York Mets. He played 82 with the Mets and 29 in Arizona. 1-0 delivery to him, and the fastball's inside. 2-0.
Well, Brown will come at a lot of different angles. He dropped down a little bit sidearm there, but again, that sinking fastball and the riding fastball to go with a slider. Hitters do not like 2 things: change of speed and change of location, and Brown excels at both of them.
Gilkey's had a couple of home runs off Brown. He can catch up with a fastball.
Little Louis Tiant there kind of turned the back to the hitter like he was going to go back to second base. This guy is no day at the beach, especially if you're a right-handed batter.
Gonzalez not a threat to go. They're not holding him particularly close at second base. Gilkey played deep 2-1 delivery to him, and fouls that one off the end of the bat. It'll even the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 down.
Well, he's thrown him a slurve, a sinker in, and then a riding fastball. He's thrown about everything in the arsenal so far.
That's really not fair.
And Todd Hundley is going out and saying to Kevin right now, okay, now what? You want to try the splitter? We've tried everything else.
What a beautiful sight. This field is always in magnificent condition, but it seems this year even more so. They've got new grass that they have put in here, spent over $1.5 million in getting this field in condition this year, and it just looks magnificent. It's beautiful.
It used to be a tough infield to play on. They've made it a lot more infielder friendly.
2-2, hard shot. That's going to be a base hit. Late start for Finley. Finley makes the turn. He'll be held up. Sheffield gets it into the cutoff man, and all of a sudden Bernard Gilkey, with Gonzalez ahead of him, put runners on at first and third. So Kevin Brown in trouble here in the 2nd inning with a couple of hits off him.
Shortstop.
Well, Bernard Gilkey, we talked about the fact he had the eye laser surgery, and we're watching it close up. He's had great lifetime numbers against Kevin Brown, 5 for 12 with 2 homers. But watch Louis Gonzalez not get a good read. He hesitated, and no chance to score. The difference was Eric Young got a great jump, but of course there were 2 outs when Mondesi got the hit. So let's see if that costs the Diamondbacks a run in the inning as Tony Bautista, he with the very unusual stance, steps in.
Bautista, the 24-year-old, with an opportunity here to tie this game up or more, with Gonzalez on at third, Gilkey on at first. Space Brown 4 times, 0 for 4. Kevin Brown falls behind 1-0, 2 hits. And they have been hit hard off Brown here in the 2nd inning. Gilkey down at first base being held. There's the throw over to keep him close. Todd Hundley, bear in mind, is catching for the Dodgers. All spring long, a question about his arm and his knee for that matter. Can he throw? Is his elbow 100%? Runner not going, pitches away, 2-0. So they may test Todd Hundley if they have a chance here in this game to see whether or not he can throw the ball.
Elbow surgery was pretty well documented at the end of '97, but 2 months later he also had surgery on his left shoulder, and as you said, knee. Davey Johnson told us before the game he's not counting on Todd catching every day, especially early in the year.
And that slider misses away, and Brown works himself into a deeper hole against Bautista. 3-0, 1 down, 2 on.
See if Buck Showalter might let Bautista have a green light here. He's got a double play candidate, Kelly Stinnett, on deck. Bautista may never see a better pitch to hit than the 3-0 delivery.
Runners off first and third. Bautista takes it, and he's on with 4 straight out of the strike zone. So the bases are loaded in the 2nd inning. After Williams struck out, the Gonzalez double, single by Gilkey, and the walk to Bautista. Kelly Stinnett, the catcher, coming up.
Looked like Bautista had the green light, though. He certainly didn't look like a guy who was going to be standing there taking it. So Stinnett coming off a good spring training, but the Diamondbacks have got to get on the board here.
1-0 lead. Raul Mondesi picking up the RBI for the Dodgers. Stinnett, great story. I mean, here's a guy who a couple of years ago looked like he was going to be out of baseball. Came in as the backup for the Diamondbacks last year behind Fabregas, and now is a starter, and they like him. 1 down. And Brown misses away in a 1-0 count with the sacks full.
Well, Kevin was a little erratic to the first hitter in the game, Steve Finley. Then it looked like he really settled down, but Luis Gonzalez took him the other way, and that seemed to unnerve him just a little bit.
5 straight out of the strike zone now for Kevin Brown, and they've not been close. Hasn't been a matter of not getting a call here. Gonzalez, Gilkey, and Bautista, the base runners. A 1-0 delivery. Fastball. That one misses down low. That's 6 straight, and it's a 2-0 count. Gonzalez started this with his double. Gilkey came on with a single. He's at second now after Bautista drew the walk.
Well, we certainly expect a great pitching matchup today, but Rick Helling got touched. Andy Ashby got hammered yesterday for the Padres. Sometimes, maybe early in the season, they aren't quite right.
Gave him one to hit. You knew that was going to be a fastball, and so did Stinnett, and he was sitting on it. Fouled it back. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Stinnett did a good job last year when he had the opportunity to pick up some RBIs. He hit .292 with runners in scoring position, 19 for 65. Second half of the year, he was behind the plate most of the season. Buck Showalter hoping he'll not only be the fine catcher that they know he is, but deliver as well at the plate. A little test your metal early. here in game one. Kevin Brown. 2-1 count. And he jammed him with good heat. 2-2.
Well, you know, a guy you're going to work with this year on the Mets, Tom Seaver, said there were 2 critical periods in a game when you had to get outs. Brown's facing one early here.
Never had a grand slam in 682 career at bats for Kelly Stinnett. You're not going to have one here either. Played it short. Young from Grutzelanek. Hesitation in the dirt. Got it. Great pick by Karros at first base. What problem in the infield was I talking about? Silly man. Ground ball double play. Look at this pick by Eric Karros at first. Dodgers still lead.
Well, Eric Young made the turn on that double play, but not without a little consternation in the Dodger dugout for Davey Johnson. This is a dead double play ball, 6-4-3, but Eric Young double clutches. He doesn't get a hold of it. He's got to double whack it. And, boy, they just barely at first base got Kelly Stinnett. And I'll tell you, you could make a case that he might have been safe. That ball was in the dirt, but Mark Hirschbeck called him out. Great play by Carousel, but Young did double clutch. That's a killer for the Diamondbacks, because not only did they lose a run, but now they got to have Randy Johnson leading off next inning. So that's a huge play for the Dodgers.
As we were talking about, Dave, you said those key moments in a game. That clearly was one of them, and it came out in the Dodgers' favor. Devon White leads it off. A lot of good friends saying hello to him today wearing the other uniform. Devon White now in center field for the Dodgers after being in Arizona last year. 7-time Gold Glove winner. He will patrol a lot of ground out there in the outfield. And a real fine middle of the order hitter. Devon White coming into the season, 262 career average, 36 years old now. And up high from the left-hander, 2-1.
Well, he tied Travis Lee for the Diamondback home run lead last year with 22. Still stole 22 bases. So number 22 on the back, I guess, means something.
Big heat right there. Swung on and missed. White voted the MVP of the Diamondbacks by the baseball writers who follow that ball club last season. Has always been a very popular player with teammates. Well, really well-liked guy. Well, absolutely solid professional, too. He goes from the world champions. A lot of the former Marlins were complaining. He just shut his mouth, showed up, and did his job all year long. 2-2 delivery. And to fight that inside pitch off. He is one of 3 Dodgers who have faced Randy Johnson before. Eric Young, Gary Sheffield, but nobody more in the lineup than White, who was 12 for 51 off the left-hander with a couple of home runs off Johnson. The other Dodgers are seeing Randy Johnson for the first time. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And he got him. Swung on and missed. 2 strikeouts for Randy Johnson. Let's check in with Trey Wingo. Trey.
All right, Gary, we take you to the Giants and Reds. 8-6 San Francisco until Ellis Burks connects off John Hudek, a 2-run shot. This would tie it at 8 in the 7th. It is still tied at 8 in the 8th, and Brian Moeller's no-hitter broken up by Juan Gonzalez in the 7th.
Many think those 2 teams have a chance to vie in their divisions. Certainly putting up the offense.
Crazy 8s in Cincy today.
Ooh.
8, 8, 8.
Eric Karros. Nice hand for his defensive play. White out of there, 1 down. And the left-hander's pitch to him is taken away. 2 balls and no strikes. 2 strikeouts and a walk so far for Randy Johnson. Todd Hundley will be on deck for the Dodgers, who have the 1-0 lead early. And that pitch down and away. Johnson falls behind. 3 balls and no strikes.
Unit gave Bruce Fleming a little bit of a look, and Bruce just said it was outside.
Karros will take all the way and get the walk. So 2 walks surrendered now. The first one scored. This one comes with 1 away.
Well, early on, Johnson's really had much better control of his sliders than he has of the fastball. That still surprises me that once he went 3 and 2 on Mondesi, he fed him 2 fastballs in a row.
Todd Hundley looking down to third. Rick Dempsey giving the signs to Karros as well at first. There's Hundley. Hundley, a switch hitter, more power from the other side of the plate when he bats left-handed. 1 down here. Not a fast runner. Randy Johnson gives 2 on a ground ball here if he can get one, and a strike on the inside corner. For Todd Hundley, last season, did not have a home run off left-handers, but got only 17 at-bats against lefties. Season marred by all kinds of injuries, change of position. Piazza coming to the Mets. Hundley lost his job as the starting catcher, tried to play the outfield. That was a disaster. Elbow surgery.
Yeah, we talked to Todd before the game, and we promised we wouldn't show any footage of his play in left field.
Oh. Yeah, everybody agreed on that one. It didn't work. Not that he didn't try, but he was just a fish in the desert, if you will. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Hundley asking about the strike zone as he turns it around to Bruce Fremming after that last pitch. Wind blowing a bit out and towards left field right now. 1-2. Oh, mercy, was that nasty. 3rd strikeout for Randy Johnson. Hundley's gone.
Well, we'll take a look at the pitch sequence.
Third baseman.
Hundley.
Number
Fastball
29.
inside corner.
Adrian.
Slider nasty.
Beltran.
Like a slider down and away, and then gas on the inside part. See you later.
Going to do much with that pitch. Randy Johnson, 143 wins, 79 losses in his career. Has got 2 down here, still on at first base. Eric Karros being held by Lee. Johnson will make the throw over just in case.
It doesn't seem like a normal situation to run here, but the plus side for the Dodgers, if Karros steals it, then maybe they walk Beltre, or worst case scenario, you have the 8th place hitter leading off with the pitcher batting second.
There he goes. Breaking ball, high throw, and sliding in with a stolen base. Tough pitch for a catcher to have to throw on. Stinnett threw it high in any event, and 2 stolen bases for the Dodgers.
Well, again, it was a win-win situation for L.A. If Karros is thrown out, then you have your 8th place hitter leading off, or if he gets on, you can have Brown sacrifice. Karros doesn't have great speed, but he will surprise now and then, and Stinnett, even with a perfect throw, it would have been questionable. Johnson with that high, long leg kick.
Oh, Beltre gets the RBI opportunity with 2 down, an 0-1 count on him, and he fouls that one right off the end of the bat at home plate, and Johnson's up on the count, 2 strikes.
Well, Beltre is a player that we've heard about in the Dodger farm system for 2 or 3 years. He came up last year and was a little bit overmatched, but won the MVP in the Dominican Winter League and had a sizzling spring training at 450 plus, and they think he's ready to be a star.
He'll have every chance in his job, and you'll see all of his spring training flash before his eyes on inside heat.
Adrian, perhaps because he's in Hollywood, maybe a little bit of overacting there.
Johnson remembers those kind of things. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Ooh. Got him inside corner fastball. 4 strikeouts for Randy Johnson, including striking out the side here in the second. Dodgers up 1-0. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, and our crew here in Dodger Stadium. Great to have you with us. Dodgers leading in these aerial pictures, courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. Goodyear recently increased the blimp fleet to 6, adding 2 airships in Europe, 1 in South America. Great to have them with us here in Los Angeles. And great to have you with us as well. Randy Johnson, Kevin Brown face one another as hitter-pitcher. Johnson steps in, batting 91 for his career. He went 3 for 39 last year, 5 for 55 lifetime, and takes a strike, 1-1.
Didn't have to worry about it much in the American League, but I'm sure Buck Showalter wishes maybe Randy were a left-handed batter, because that left arm is exposed when you bat right-handed.
Sometimes pitchers have been known to just turn around. If they really can't hit very well, they'll just turn around and bat the other way for the sole purpose of protecting that hand. 1-2 delivery fouled off. David Cohn had to do that because he got nailed a few years ago out in San Francisco by a pitch that hit him on the pitching hand. Decided enough of that. It's more important I be able to throw the ball than stand up here and try and swing a bat.
Yeah, and he also became a fairly decent hitter from the left side.
Yeah, he did. 1-2 delivery. And a fastball inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Johnson.
Dodgers had a pitcher, Ramon Martinez. Sometimes you'd never know which side he was going to go up from, but he became, you know, not a great hitter, but he'd get an occasional hit now and then. He batted left-handed.
2-2 delivery, got him. So Kevin Brown gets his second strikeout, and he's gone once through the order.
Center fielder, Number 12.
Well, there's Kevin's line.
Steve
Randy Johnson has twice
Finley.
as many strikeouts as he does, but Kevin got the key double play ball in the second inning to keep Diamondbacks off the board.
Gets the strikeout to start the third. And with one away, back to the top of the order, and Finley. Steve Finley flying out to center field his first time up. And Kevin Brown just comes in with direct heat on him there.
I'm sure Coney and Ramon Martinez picked their spots so to bat left-handed.
Oh, yeah.
Right arm exposed, so.
0-1 is outside. Both of these teams had great springs. I mean, both of the managers were jokingly talking about, I wish we could have started this season a month ago. Arizona ended up 22-10. The Dodgers 21-9 in spring games. I mean, you never know what to make of that. I mean, it may mean something and it may not, because you get so many players involved in those games, especially in the first 2 weeks.
Well, you could have fun with numbers. The Dodgers went to the World Series in 55, 66, 77, and 88. Could 99 be their magical year?
They certainly hope so. They've been picked by a lot of people to be there. 1-2, high fastball strung on and missed and gone. Let's check in with Trey Wingo again. Trey.
Well, Gary, Cincinnati not seeing the pitching duel you guys have. It's tied at 8 in the 8th when Charlie Hayes only in the game because Bill Miller took one off his foot in his first at bat. Gives it a ride, a 3-run shot. The Giants now up 11-8.
Pitchers love the ERAs that come out of those games. 32, 38 with only one game. 2 down here, nobody on. And the breaking ball to Bell.
Well, we'll look at the high gas that got Steve Finley. That was the 4-seamer.
All but matching each other in strikeouts here. Randy Johnson with 4, Kevin Brown up to 3. He's trying to strike the side out, just as Johnson did in the last half inning. Down the right field line, no play on this one.
Well, another player hurt today. Bill Miller, first at bat, broken foot. Oh, it's been an epidemic this spring. It's been terrible.
You took the DL list around Major League Baseball, you would have one heck of a team. A lot of great players. I say Salou, of course, huge loss in Houston. Inside out swing to fight it off, and Bell does. Ball and 2 strikes on Jay Bell, who grounded out his first time up. You made your picks already? Preseason picks for division winners?
What do I win?
Well, you don't win a darn thing. It's just expected of you in the position you're in with the caliber of knowledge that you have. Fouled off outside of first again, 1 and 2.
I think the Yankees are going to be pretty good this year if they get their pitching all right. Going out on
You
a limb.
walk those limbs. I mean, it's a thin limb, but you went out there anyway. 1-2 count. I don't think they're going to make it to the World Series.
You don't, huh?
No.
Well, they got some pitching problems right now. Obviously, Arabu's having some problems. Andy Pettit's on the DL.
But they got a great team. Off the fist. That could be a New York Times base hit, and it is, Sunday edition. Jay Bell is on as he bloops that one. Rudzelanic and Sheffield could not get to it. 2-out single. And that will keep this third inning alive for Arizona.
Chavez.
Well, Jay Bell fights it off. Kevin Brown got it in on the handle. Sheffield took a little bit of a half step back, and that cost him any chance of making the play. No man's land.
That'll be hit number 3. Diamondbacks 3 hits. Dodgers have only 1, but the Dodgers have the lead on Raul Mondesi's base hit in the first inning, bringing home the young. Throw over to keep Bell close. Travis Lee will be the hitter. He flied out to center field his first time up. Lee's got some power. That kind of a swing. Left-handers 245 off Kevin Brown. Right-handers 225. The pronounced ground ball pitcher that Brown is means he does not give up many home runs. Looks like they've already started the rally caps. 0-1. He was fooled on that pitch.
Well, again, the thing that makes Brown so difficult since he started throwing that 4-seamer more, location. You see the delivery and you think, well, he's got that great sinker. The pitch is coming in about letter high. It's going to sink waist high, and then that ball rides up. That's what he did, especially in the playoffs last year.
And he rips that one. That's a fair ball over Karras's head. Jay Bell making the turn, heading for third. Mondesi with trouble, but with that great arm, and they'll hold the runner up. Boy, what a shot that was by Lee. He had been fooled on the pitch before, but he was not fooled on that one.
Well, Kevin tried to breeze him 3 straight times. Great play by Mondesi. If he waits and lets that ball carry him, there's no way he's going to keep Bell from scoring. But he got that ball down in the zone. He'd had the other 2 up. Bell's going hard. Jack Butterfield, the third base coach, is thinking, but look at Mondesi sliding, knocking it down, and he's got the great arm that Butterfield's very aware of. Bounces on it, gets it back in the infield. So once again, the Diamondbacks have a golden opportunity, but they've got to cash in sooner or later.
They left 2 in scoring position in the second when they had the bases loaded and 1 down and a double play ended the inning. Now their cleanup hitter, Matt Williams, called out on strikes his first time up with 2 down. Runners at second and third, and that one caught him. Caught him on the head or shoulder, not sure which, but we'll see it again, and the bases are loaded again.
Well, that was a slider that got totally away from Kevin Brown. Just left the arm out, tried to overthrow it. You can see the arc on the ball, and Matty going for cover gets him on the shoulder. So the bases are loaded. And again, Luis Gonzalez has got pretty good numbers against Brown. Matt's seeing his life flash before him. Just a slider that did not break, hung up.
Matty's all right. Bases loaded, and a left-handed hitter, Gonzalez, who doubled his first time up. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead, but D-backs threatening again. First ball hitting, another ground ball. Young's got a force, and that'll do it. Being a ground ball pitcher makes such an enormous difference in those kinds of situations. They get the big out, and the Dodgers protect the 1-0 lead.
Trey Wingo in Bristol with an update for you between the Phillies and the Braves. Third inning, Braves leading at 2-1, leading at 2-1, no more. Scott Rowland, an absolute bomb to left center, had 31 a year ago. This one is first, gives the Phillies a 3-2 lead. Gary and Dave.
Rowland's one of the real fine young stars of this game. Phillies are counting on to give them a chance at least of staying in the pack somewhere. Does so there. And a 1-0 lead. The Dodgers, they have treaded lightly and towards the line on it, but gotten the big outs. Here's Kevin Brown. Randy Johnson goes to work against him. He's got 4 strikeouts. He won't get one against the opposing pitcher. Bell back, coming, Gilkey. Bell, nice play. Play by Jay Bell, and Kevin Brown is retired. Well, big day, opening day, of course, after the opening night last night. Quest for 71 begins right here on ESPN, 7 o'clock. McGuire, the Cardinals. They'll go against the Milwaukee Brewers. Big Mac had 9 in spring training this year, by the way. 10 o'clock, it's going to be baseball tonight. And then defending world champion Yankees, the Rocket, Roger Clemens, scheduled start against the A's. All coming up today, tonight, right here on ESPN. Great to have you with us here for the first of our triple header in Los Angeles. Eric Young up.
Certainly a great matchup here, Johnson and Brown, but Schilling and Glavine not too bad. Braves and Phillies.
1-0 delivery. Schilling the talk all spring training and all the offseason for that matter about whether or not he would be moved somewhere. And the Phillies clearly were listening for a while, but then said no, not now.
Well, I think the Phillies have got to give their club a shot. If something goes different. Stay tuned July 31st.
Young takes the pitch outside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Career home run. 180's had off Randy Johnson.
How many times do you think Eric reminded us of that before the game today? Make sure you get that graphic up.
Till you left. He did score in this game as he picked up the walk in the first inning, stole second base, and came around to score on the Raul Mondesi single. A 2 ball, 2 strike count. Johnson 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. And then first walk is the run that's on the board. Breaking ball up high, 3-2.
See, if I'd have talked to Eric after that, he'd say, see that, Campbell? See that? See that? He's scared of me. Walk me, scared of me. Won't come into me.
Got a smile on his face right now. Here's Zelanik on deck. 3-2, reached to protect and fouled it back. Count remains full.
Well, Young knows about opening day home runs. 1993 Colorado Rockies, first home game ever, led off the game with a homer. It sent 80,000 fans or so at Mile High Stadium into a tizzy, and still remembered very fondly in Colorado for that particular deed. Welcome to the National League and Major League Baseball. The Rockies fans certainly enjoyed that.
Great fun. 3-2 count. Outfield in on him. Fouls that one off again. That'll end up as another souvenir. One of the advantages the pitchers can't take advantage of here at Dodger Stadium is this huge foul territory. Ground ball pitchers doesn't help them very much. Of course, with these guys, they don't need it because they strike so many people out anyway. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Breaking ball, and he walked him again. So 3 walks by Johnson, 2 of them to Eric Young.
Shortstop, number 8.
Well, we've mentioned many times Dodger Stadium, statistically over the years, has been the toughest ballpark in the majors to score in. One of the reasons, the foul territory allows a lot of balls to be caught. The other, a lot of people think this mound is just a little bit higher than some of the others.
That's an annual argument. And the breaking ball misses up high. Ball 1. Grucilanico struck out his first time up.
And in fairness, the Dodgers have had some great pitchers over the years.
They've always lived off outstanding pitching, so you help them out a little bit if the mound's a little bit higher, if in fact that's the case.
Yeah, Randy really needs some help with a high mound, doesn't he? I was going to ask you, Randy Johnson along with Eric Hillman, the tallest pitchers in Major League history at 6'10". Who's the shortest pitcher in Major League history?
The shortest pitcher in Major League history.
I told you I was going to ask you. I gave
you did. No, you gave me time. You didn't pull this out of the wall on me here. 1-0 delivery. Did he pitch for the White Sox?
Nope. Pierce? No. Billy Pierce? No, I don't think he was too terribly short. Pitched for the Boston Braves.
Oh, my.
Go back a few years. 1910. Peter Bird, 5'1".
Bird?
Berg. B-E-R-G.
B-E-R-G.
Yeah, you were trying for Bird.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. And Johnson's behind 3-0. How tall was he?
5'1".
5'1". Now that's a guy who needs a big mound.
Johnson's been going to the slide step here to try to keep Eric Young close, but the control's gotten very erratic. Sometimes that happens to pitchers. They worry so much about the base runner that they lose sight of home plate.
3rd in stolen bases last year. Lee holding him on over there. 5th 3-ball count and the 12th batter faced, and he draws a walk. So Young, as Dave said, created some concern, and that is walk number 4 off Randy Johnson.
Well, obviously both these guys, the score is only 1-0. That's the good news, but both of them are struggling somewhat today. Randy a bit with his control. Kevin Brown hasn't been quite as sharp as he'd like to be, but they have gotten pretty key outs when they've needed him. Again, keep an eye on Young at second, though. Randy could be forgetting about him right now.
And he will go if they don't hold him close. Big chance here for the Dodgers to increase their 1-0 lead. Sheffield, there he goes to third. Fake the bunt, no throw anywhere. Stinnett was going to go for the trailing runner. Grucilanico at second base if he went. He didn't. Young has 2 stolen bases. Dodgers have 3.
Well, again, Eric Young disrupting a lot of things in the base paths, and he knows Randy's struggling just a little bit. With that high leg kick, he's very vulnerable to giving it up. Sheffield sees Young get the great jump, so he's not going to swing. Grucilanico, though, didn't pick it up, so the double play's still in order.
0-1 count, 1 down. And the fastball away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Sheffield, a .312 hitter off left-handers last year. 1 for 9 lifetime against Randy Johnson, including the pop-out here in this game. Sheffield, of course, a big RBI producer. 1-1 delivery. 1st and 3rd occupied. Down to 3rd. Chance for 2. Williams, Bell, the pivot. They got it. So both of these pitchers coming up with huge ground ball double plays when they've needed them. It remains a Dodger 1-0 lead.
ESPN's Major League Baseball is brought to you by Nike.
Major League Baseball on ESPN. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, and our crew here in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers have the 1-0 lead and a pitching duel we expected, and it is.
Boy, Matt Williams, one of the very best in baseball at getting rid of the ball quickly and giving a solid feed. Jay Bell does the rest at second base, but nobody better than Matt Williams with a quick release and a perfect chest-high throw. And the Dodgers come up empty as Randy Johnson gets the big double play ball.
Bernard Gilkey.
Defensive plays important in this game. 0-4-0 for the Diamondbacks. 1-1-0 for the Dodgers. Raul Mondesi single in the first. The only hit up there for the Dodgers, but it produced a run. Kevin Brown goes to work as we go to the fourth inning, and Bernard Gilkey leads it off. Gilkey had a single. He was stranded in his first at bat.
Little bitty things. We'll talk about more of it later, but little bitty things in this game are costing teams runs. Grzelcyk not stealing second when Young was going, kept the double play in order.
Both of these managers there's one thing they will both be tough on with their players. It's the little things that don't get done. Because both of them firmly believe you've got to do that in order to win. That one drilled deep left field, way back at the wall, looking up. Goodbye, home run. Bernard Gilkey, 2 for 2 in his first home run of the '99 season. And this ball game is tied at 1 apiece.
A lot of people thought Andy Foxmart starting right field. I was talking to Mike Swanson, the PR director for the Diamondbacks. I said, why Gilkey? He said 5 for 12 with 2 lifetime homers against Kevin Brown. That's why he now has 3 lifetime homers against Kevin Brown.
Play the numbers. And that is what Buck Showalter did in that decision, and it has paid off already. 1-1. Big cut swung on and missed by Tony Bautista. Drew a walk his first time up.
Brown allowed the fewest home runs per 9 inning of any pitcher in the majors last year.
Gave up just 8 total on the whole year. Bernard Gilkey's got his 3rd career home run off Brown. Outside corner with a slider and a quick 2-strike count on Bautista. Gilkey delivers. Last year, 5 home runs by right-handers, 2 by left-handers off Brown. Reached for in the outside part of the plate. Mondesi's there. He's got it. Bautista's retired.
Well, last year, Greg Vaughn had laser eye surgery before the season, hit 50 home runs. Bernard Gilkey has struggled mightily the last 2 years, but if this is any indication, there's going to be a lot of guys lined up for that surgery. We know that Wade Boggs has had it this year. Wally Joyner of the San Diego Padres becoming more and more popular.
You can hear the phones ringing now. Call 1-800 hit homers. And the pitch with 1 down, taken up high. Kelly Stinnett to hit into a double play his first time up. And Randy Johnson to follow against Kevin Brown. Broken bat pop up right there at the plate. Brown's calling for it. And he will make the play. He had the best and only angle, really. Let's check in with Trey Wingo again. Trey.
All right, Gary, the Mo Vaughnless Red Sox looking for runs any way they can get them. Against the Royals, it's Mike Stanley providing the RBI, slapping it through the left side. On the play, Nomar Garcia-Parra scores. That made it 3-2. They're now up 4-2 in the bottom of the 7th. John Valentin also has a homer.
Just what a lot of people didn't expect. The Red Sox scored 4 runs in a game.
Pedro against Apier today.
Kevin Apier, of course, much discussed about moving somewhere, and as the season goes along, if teams fall out like Philly and the Royals might, a couple of pitches might be available like Kurt Schilling and Kevin Apier. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Johnson, the 2 down, nobody on. Struck out his first time up. Kevin Brown hits the inside corner with it. 1-2. Home run by Bernard Gilkey. He's tied this ball game up at 1 apiece here in the 4th inning. There goes the bat, and that's a foul bat and a no-hit ball. If he'd put the ball that far, he would have had a shot at a little looper over the third baseman's head. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. He didn't. That's 4 strikeouts for Kevin Brown in the game. The home run by Bernard Gilkey, though, has tied this ball game up. He'll get the bat later.
Right fielder.
Yes, sir. It begins again. And all the dreams, bring you glove, and a 1-1 game here at Dodger Stadium. Big crowd on hand here. Sellout crowd of over 57,000 to see the Diamondbacks and Dodgers open it up. Mondesi, who picked up the RBI, a single in the first inning, got thrown out at second base trying to extend it. So Mondesi put the Dodgers on the board. Set career highs last year in the RBI department. He'd like to crack 100 this year, up to 90 last season. 1-0 delivery. That'll be chopped off Johnson foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Looks like he got down. He came into camp at 234. A little bit heavy, but looks like the rigors of Vero Beach got him down a few pounds.
Mondesi back in right field where he loves to play and where that great arm that he has, one of the strongest throwing arms in Major League Baseball, has come into play more often than not. Great off-speed breaking ball. That is really unfair, Randy Johnson.
Randy still might like to have back that pitch in the first inning because Mondesi has not looked good on the breaking ball, but he's singled off the fastball. That's the slider. Oof.
1-2 delivered to Mondesi. Came back with another breaking ball that got him. So 5 strikeouts, 1 down here in the 4th inning for the Dodgers under their new skipper, and a winning one he is, Davey Johnson.
Well, he's managed 12 years in the major leagues, 10 full seasons, and in those full seasons, he's never finished lower than second. First 5 times, second 5 times. Davey's his own man, though, and sometimes that gives him trouble getting jobs. But you see the kind of turnaround he's had. The Dodgers actually had a winning record. This is the best team he's ever taken over.
That one drilled to deep center field, way back, wind blowing out a bit at the wall. Goodbye, home run, Devon White. 2-1 Dodgers.
Got the slider down to Mondesi, but he got one up to Devo, and Devon jumped on it. So the Dodgers take the lead. That slider did not have much downward tilt. It stayed in a nice plane, and Devon got full extension on it. Finley looking up in that tough sun, but that ball about 5 to 10 feet out of the ballpark.
Took care of our center field shot right there. You talk about dead center. And Randy Johnson delivers it away. Devon White last year, 5 home runs off left-handers and 17 off right-handers. Gets this one off Randy Johnson, who gave up 23 last year, as we mentioned earlier, all to right-handers. And the Dodgers have 2 hits in this game and a 2-1 lead. 1 down, nobody on. Eric Karros up now. Karros threw a walk his first time up. White now has 3 career home runs off Randy Johnson. Remember, he's the one Dodger who has had substantial at-bats against Randy Johnson. Now at 13 hits and 53 at-bats, 2 of the 13 hit stingers. 2-2 delivery by the big unit. Nailed him. 6 strikeouts, 2 down.
Well, Randy had great bite on that slider again. He made one mistake in the inning, and Devon White made him pay for it. See it from our left field camera. Finley got a great jump on this ball, but he's going to run out of real estate. It isn't going to help what kind of jump he got.
Dead center field. 395 out there. The dead center here at Dodger Stadium. And that had all of it. 2 down, bases empty, and he's throwing some nasty breaking balls inside. Todd Hundley, strike 1.
That's amazing. Every breaking pitch he's thrown in the inning, except the one to Devon, has had great downward tilt. The one he threw to Devon White was flat, and Devon didn't miss it.
The 63 pitches thrown. As we said, no pitch count, but as he gets over that 90 mark, he'll be evaluating. He gets close to that 90 mark, just what he's throwing, how he's throwing. 1-1 delivered to Hundley. 1-2.
Also be checking on Kevin Brown because his pitch count's getting up there. And early in the season, you aren't quite as apt to let a guy go 115 pitches. Kevin last year on opening day pitched 6 1/3. So don't expect him to go 9 unless he has some efficient innings soon.
1-2 delivery, off speed a bit on that one. Tried to get Hundley to chase. He would not. It goes to a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Dodgers have a terrific closer in Jeff Shaw, but the rest of the bullpen, especially from the left side, a little suspect.
Got him. So he's getting the strikeouts. He's not giving up hits. He has struck out 6, walked 4, but the 2 hits the Dodgers have picked up off him have been good enough for RBIs. Good enough for a 2-1 lead.
Trey Wingo with you at the ESPN studios. Phillies and Braves. Brian Jordan, even when he played for the Cardinals, lived in the offseason in Atlanta, loved the town, played football there, loved that Kurt Schilling pitch. All 3 RBIs for the Braves in this game off the bat of Jordan. It's tied at 3 in the 4th. Gary and Dave, back to Chavez Ravine.
Pretty good duel going on there, too. Thanks, Trey, keeping us updated on the games going on. We are here in Los Angeles for the first of our triple-header here on opening day after opening night last night in Monterrey, Mexico, where the San Diego Padres discovered what it's going to be like when you trade away your entire team. See the patches that are being worn. They each could select a player who is on the billboard here in Los Angeles. They got to pick a patch because here at Dodger Stadium now, Will, Snyder, Russell, Mike Socia, Say, Gibson, Koufax, Drysdale, Robinson, Hodgers, and others are out there in the billboards. That's going to be a base hit. Steve Finley's on. So Finley picks up a leadoff single. The leadoff batter here in the 5th inning delivers the 6th hit for the Diamondbacks, who are down 2-1.
One of the things the Diamondbacks definitely wanted to improve on this year was their on-base percentage and cutting down on strikeouts. But the other thing I think Buck Showalter wants to see him to do today is do a little better job of advancing runners and getting them in when they're in scoring position. They were 14th in the league in runs scored last year, and they've got to improve on that.
6 hits, but trailing 2-1. Bell, who led the league in sacrifice bunts and every year has laid down a lot of great bunts, may do so here. He was looking down to third to Brian Butterfield. Bell had a single last time up, 1 for 2. Finley at first, in at third, Beltry. He does square and fouls it off, 0-1.
Back in 90 through 92, when Bell was the shortstop for the Pirates, Jim Leland's club, one year he had 39 sacrifice bunts to set it up for Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. There was some talk. Bell hit 6 a lot last year, but Buck Showalter decided to put him in the 2-hole. He can hit behind the runner, and he's an excellent bunter. It's a good spot for him. Last year, they just didn't have a 2-hitter. This year, he's going to bat number 2.
0-1 the count. He's got a lot of room in right field. He goes the first base side, and it'll go foul. 1 and an 0-2 count on Bell. So first he tried to go third. Then he had Beltray moving in on him. Thought he could catch Karros back and tried there.
Now he's got to go to scramble mode with 2 strikes against him and Brown on the mound. Showalter saw his club begin 8-31 last year, and then they played pretty decent after that, but that really put them in a hole to start out. And again, with the schedule they have this year, their first 10 games against the Dodgers and Braves, they do not want to get off to a bad start.
65-97 their record last year in season number 1 for the Diamondbacks. 0-2 count. Finley off first. Bell, and he's gone. 5 strikeouts now for Brown. 1 down here in the 5th inning.
Well, again, the thing that's hurt the Diamondbacks today has not been moving runners and then being able to get the job done offensively when they've had them in scoring position. That might have been the split finger pitch from Brown. We haven't seen too many of those today.
It worked, and it was down and away. Lee ripped one his last time up down the right field line for a double. Flied out his first time up. 3 for 10 lifetime against Kevin Brown. First pitch foul back with 1 away, strike 1.
Kid's really got a sweet swing. Reminds you a little bit of a young Will Clark.
He's checking to see whether or not the runner might be going. If he pulls the ball here, he's got a big hole between first and second. Look how far Young is playing over to second base. He pulled the last time up. Fastball up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, one of the reasons Kevin Brown with that sinker diving down and away, they figure most of the time that hitter isn't going to be able to pull it.
The reason he did last time, Dave, because he got one up.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Finley still at first base. Karros holding him over there. And again, Lee's looking for signs down there at third, as is Wayne Murphy, the coach at first, to help his base runner. 1-1. Towering pop-up on that left side. Vitsalanic shading the eyes, puts it away. Lee retired, 2 down. Leadoff man on twice in this game for Arizona. The home run by Gilkey and the single by Finley here in this inning. It's easy to move them around when you get a homer. They haven't been able to move Finley around. They're 2 away.
Both pitchers have gotten key double play balls when they've needed it. It's not Kevin's usual. Fly balls a bit unusual. A ground ball ratio usually about 6-3 as opposed to a 5-4 in favor of the flyouts.
8 pitches this inning so far. 7 of them have gone for strikes. Williams up, hit by a pitch his last time up, on a slider that didn't move. Pretty good lead. He almost caught Finley leaning a bit that time at first base.
Finley a lot healthier this year. He had bunion surgery right at the end of '97, and talking to Steve before the game, he said quite frankly it bothered him pivoting in the batter's box a lot last year.
12 stolen bases for Finley last season, who in earlier years had put up as many as 36 stolen bases with San Diego, 34 one year with Houston.
Yeah, he said running was uncomfortable, but it was the pivot in the batter's box that bothered him more than anything else.
2 down, a 2-1 Dodger lead. Runner not going, and the pitch is inside as Brown missed that one, and he falls behind Matt Williams now, 2-0.
A little surprised they haven't run more on Todd Hundley. Again, there is some question with the elbow.
Two-0 count. And the slider misses away. 3 balls and no strikes on Matt Williams with Gonzalez on deck.
Well, Brown may be doing the same thing Randy did. Kevin's so quick to the plate, but sometimes when you're worried about a base runner going, you do that slide step, and it throws you just a little bit out of rhythm.
He really is hurrying that pitch to the plate. 3-0 delivery. Williams takes it, and he's on. So Kevin Brown surrenders the walk. Second he's given up in the game. Here in the 5th inning, it puts 2 on with 2 down for Gonzalez.
Left fielder, number 20, Luis Gonzalez.
There they are. Lead runner Finley with good speed on at second base. Williams, average or a little below runner on at first, and Gonzalez, who had a double his first time up, 1 for 2.
Well, Brown has gotten out of 2 bases loaded jams in the ball game, and now he's got runners at first and second, 2 outs. He needs another key out to keep the lead.
Against the left-hander, starts him inside, tailed in and missed. Ball 1 to Gonzalez. Brown, 34 years old, working hoping for another ground ball. 5 straight out of the strike zone, and another one onto it as he misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. He only walked 49 last year in the 257 innings he worked, second only to Schilling in innings pitched last year, and second best ERA at 2.38. 18-7 his record. Again, little slider inside. They wanted to check at third. There really wasn't any swing there at all.
Well, he's got the right-hander on deck, Gilkey, but we also told you Gilkey has 3 lifetime homers and is 7 for 14, 500. So I don't think Kevin's pitching around Gonzalez. He's just struggling with the strike zone right now.
3-0 count. Runners at first and second, edge off, and taken on the inside corner for a strike. Came back to the same part of that plate, caught it that time. Kevin Brown, the other thing that's happening here, of course, is he's piling up pitches Dave was talking about. You're in the 5th inning. He's taking a lot of long counts. 3-1 delivery. Swung on. Underneath that one. Here's that big foul territory. Any other park, that ball's in the seats. It's not here. Todd Hundley puts it away, and that's why this park is so tough to score runs in that Dave was talking about earlier. Those kind of plays are outs, not foul balls. Tommy Lasorda, former manager, of course, here in Los Angeles, now vice president, working with the team, a lot of public relations work, and a chance to watch some baseball.
Tommy regaling us with stories as usual before. Had both knees replaced. Said the surgery, a lot of rehab, but he says they feel absolutely great.
Did that hit him?
Beltre almost lost a knee there.
No. Ball 1. Little bouncer in the dirt that time from Randy Johnson, who's walked 4, struck out 7. That one actually was off the fists a little bit. That'll keep it in the yard. Finley will haul that one in. Beltre's retired, 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Our 10th year of Wednesday Night Baseball kicks off with the National League MVP Sammy Sosa and the Chicago Cubs. He'll be in Houston. Sosa coming off that 66 home run year, of course. Then at 10:30, the American League's defending champion Cleveland Indians in that Central Division will be in Anaheim taking on the Angels. And Move On and Company. All starts 7:30 Wednesday right here on ESPN. For more, log on ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. One strike count. Only 6 balls have been put in play so far off Randy Johnson. And Kevin Brown had one of them. He popped out in his first at-bat.
Yeah, Randy mad that Kevin popped out, so he's throwing him 2 sliders in this at-bat. No more fastballs.
It's because he struck out twice, Johnson has. Hey, another chopper. 1, 3, 2 down.
He threw him a fastball, and Kevin made contact.
You haven't had a hot dog yet.
This is true.
I got in my first hot dog here in the last half inning. You're behind now. I want you to know that.
Dodger dog.
You got one coming?
I hope so. What's the trip to the ballpark?
Second baseman.
Little contact
21.
by Kevin Brown.
Young.
He actually hit 200 plus last year for the Padres. Those guys have had a couple.
It's my box there. You asked me a trivia question. I got one for you.
Oh, no.
How many hot dogs are eaten annually at ballparks?
Let's see. There's 70 million fans last year. Let's say 40 million.
Over. You're actually over.
Oh, is that? Oh.
26 million, according to the spokesman for the Sausage Hot Dog Association. When you get done eating, of course, you have a great half.
Only 1 out of 3 people have a hot dog at a game?
Well, I think it's actually less than that, but the ones who do eat them eat more than one. These people contributing to our statistics, putting the Dodger dogs away, and that one is ripped foul by Eric Young. Sushi, of course, served in some ballparks now.
Suspect Dodger Stadium is one of them.
Yep. 2 strike count on Eric Young. 2 walks, 2 stolen bases for Young in the game. Scored the first run on the first. Raul Mondesi brought him home. White had the home run for number 2.
The only thing I don't understand is every time they ever take the average amount the family spends at a ballpark for tickets parking, they always include at least 1 hot dog for everybody.
Well, there you go again. See, it's 1 hot dog, not necessarily for everybody, as you know. Oh, nice try over there by Lee. And even here in Dodger Stadium, that one's not going to be caught. Over the railing, photographer's railing there. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
We're trying to keep the focus and brace your body. That does have a protective wrap around the railing to help. But Travis just out of real estate.
Andy Johnson with a chance to retire the side in order if he can get Young, and he does it. Wow, is he struggling with this leadoff hitter. He has walked him twice, and now he hits him.
Well, he was trying to make that slider a little too good and held on to it too long. Just no room for Eric to go. But he said, if I'm going to put you on this time, I'm going to make it a little tougher for you to steal a base. This is an eat-you-up slider right there. That one has got to hurt. Ouch.
Oh, saw him limp away on that one. A day 1 bruise. Eric Young. 2 down. And foul back by Grudzielanek, who has walked and struck out.
Eric Young was a wide receiver at Rutgers, and they asked him why he chose baseball over football. He said, I didn't like the way I felt the next day. Well, he isn't going to feel very good tomorrow either with that one.
Oh, that hurt. That's a tender part of the body right there. He'll be held at first base by Lee. 3 for 3 in stolen bases so far for the team, and 2 of those picked up by Young for the Dodgers. They've stranded a couple in scoring position. They've got the 2-1 lead on just 2 hits off the big unit, Randy Johnson. Grudzielanek with the outfield playing a bit the other way, and they got him picked off in the middle on this one. He'll be chased back. Johnson over to cover, puts the tag on. They got him. So they caught him in the rundown. It'll go as a caught stealing since he headed to second base. It's still 2-1 Dodgers. Dodgers have the 2-1 lead in the opener for these 2 teams, and one of the world's most enduring symbols, the Goodyear Blimp Eagle. Been providing these aerial pictures today, and for a look inside the Goodyear Blimp and how it maneuvers, check out the website, www.goodyear.com. Or at the end of the baseball season, if you want to check out the Blimp site, just take a look at my weight. After all those hot dogs. Kevin Brown back to work, and it was Bernard Gilkey who delivered the lone run up there for the D-backs, his home run leading off the 4th inning.
As fast as you read that promo, you know what?
What?
I think you got a future as a used car salesman.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
No more wheeling and dealing, though. They're all going to the sticker price. You got to take it or leave it. 1 strike count. Brown. 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, and Gilkey fouls that pitch back. 0-2. Gilkey really attacks the baseball. He's one of those hitters. He holds that bat out. A lot of arm motion for him because he's so strong in the shoulders and arms. He'll strike out some on off-speed pitches for that reason, but boy, when he launches one, he really nails it. Check swing on this one will be a foul ball. Remains a 2-strike count. Generally, Dave, on a hitter like this, you think of up and in. Guy who's so aggressive at the plate.
Well, that's where Brown came right there. I mean, Kevin's got to try something. 7 for 14 with 3 homers. Hard to explain sometimes. I know Sandy Koufax, as good as he was, there were a couple of very mediocre hitters that did well against him, but no particular reason Gilkey should hit Brown that well.
Gilkey rips into that one foul. 278 career hitter for Bernard Gilkey. And with power. With the New York Mets and the Diamondbacks last season. 0-2 delivery to him. Got a hold of that one to center field. Way back, wanting track wall. Goodbye home run. Bernard Gilkey has now gone 3 for 3 off Kevin Brown in this game, including 2 homers, making it 4 in his career off the Dodger right-hander.
Shortstop, number 10, Tony Bautista.
Well, I'm going for laser eye surgery and trying for a comeback.
Woo.
Mercy. Opposite field. Ball up in the zone, and as you said, Bernard just attacks.
He get a hold of that one. His 6th career 2-homer game. 2 home runs and a single for Bernard Gilkey. And this game is tied again at 2-2. Brown can't find a way to get him out. Bautista 0 for 1 and a walk and a 2-strike count on him. So here's Brown, 8 home runs all last year. Has given up 2 in this game. Outside, 1 and 2.
I can just hear the pitchers now. They lowered the mound from 15 to 10 inches. The strike zone's the size of a bread box, and now these guys have got laser eye surgery to help them. What are we going to do?
1-2 delivery, and he chased after that one. Strikeout will be number 6 for Brown.
Well, as you pointed out earlier, Kevin Brown only gave up 8 home runs the entire year. He can't believe it. Obviously, Bernard Gilkey has his number, and there aren't too many hitters in baseball that have Kevin Brown's number.
First 2-homer game since '97 for Bernard Gilkey. Had one in September that year against Philly. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Kelly Stinnett hit into a double play, popped out. Brown is the one who's had people on all day. 7 have been stranded in this game by Arizona. Kevin Brown's had to come up with some key pitches, moments in this game to get out of trouble. Randy Johnson's given up only 2 hits, yet the ball game's tied 2-2. D-backs have 7 hits. Add another one, it's 8. Stinnett reaching for one, got it with the outside part of the bat, and with 1 down, he's on.
Well, both Brown and Randy Johnson have made some great pitches today, but they've also gotten a lot of pitches in zones where they don't normally throw it if they're in a good groove. Eric Carroll's coming in and trying to settle Brown in a tad right now, as Bernard Gilkey has been the offensive star for the Diamondbacks. Let's see if Johnson tries to bunt Stinnett down to second.
In at third base, Beltry of the Dodgers. Ball on the field. This will cause a delay.
The other thing you really have to worry about in a situation like this, especially if Randy's going to try to bunt, with that hard sinker that Kevin Brown throws coming in on your hands, the last thing you want to do if you're Randy Johnson is get one of your fingers in the way. Seen that happen before.
Our first beach ball of the year is removed from the outfield. And in this 2-2 ball game, in the 6th inning, numbers for Brown already up to 93 pitches. He squares, Johnson does, takes the pitch for a strike called. That's a lot of pitches. Ryan Butterfield, third base coach. His dad, man who put the baseball program together at the University of Maine. 0-1. Squares. Went after it. Didn't get it. 0-2.
Black Bears, NCAA champs in college hockey.
Yes.
I know, you're a Maine alum. You even made a graphic. Famous Maine alum. Randy's got the bat out front, but kind of took a little stab at it. Didn't have to bunt much over in the American League.
2-strike count. And fouls that one off. Remains at 2 strikes. 1 down. So that's on at first base.
I suspect the only time he hit over there was in the interleague. So, in fact, I know the only time he hit in the American League was in the interleague.
See whether or not they would have him try and bunt here with a 2-strike count. There's 6-1, half dozen of the other at this point. Beltre's still in at third base for the Dodgers. He did swing and he fouled it back. Well, he fouls off a couple after unable to get the ball down with the bunt, and we will get bullpen action. Bourbon is kind of a surprise in the Dodger bullpen, made this club.
Well, Pedro was terrific in the World Series for Atlanta back in '95, but then had the elbow problems and basically has struggled for 3 years after coming off that transplant surgery. Some guys come back pretty well, others struggle.
Now he tries to bunt and he's out of there. So he took a couple of hacks after falling behind, then went back to the bunt. It'll be a strikeout. Swinging, 2 down. 7 Ks in the game for Kevin Brown as he gets Randy Johnson out of there. At least Johnson made him throw some pitches, though.
Well, that's one thing the Diamondbacks have done today with a more professional veteran lineup. They've made Kevin Brown work for his money. Last year, again, the Diamondbacks a very bad on-base percentage, lowest batting average in the major leagues, number 14 in the National League in runs scored. They haven't been able to cash in on their opportunities, but they do have 2 solo homers, plus Brown's throwing a lot.
And Finley, the leadoff batter, 1 for 3 with a single, takes it outside. This Dodger pitching staff, as is virtually true every year, held the opposition to a .246 batting average last year, second best. Now they've added Kevin Brown, of course, for the rotation. Fastball outside by Brown here, and he's behind on Finley, 2-0.
Changing face of baseball, former teammates last year with the San Diego Padres, the defending National League champion, Brown and Finley. Center fielder for the Dodgers, Devon White played for the Diamondbacks last year.
Got to have a scorecard. And a base hit into right field. Mondesi with a great arm. Respected there. Stinnett not fast, will hold at second base. Finley is on. 9 hits now off Brown.
Second baseman.
Finley is 2 for 4. 2 on, 2 down.
Well, you never know. All things considered equal, if maybe Brown would have pitched around Finley, but the failure to sacrifice, that's one thing the Diamondbacks have not done well today. They haven't run the bases terribly well. I don't know if Stinnett would have scored on a base hit to Mondesi anyway. He's not a very fast runner, and Raul with that great arm. Charlie Huff, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a chat with Kevin Brown.
He's up to 99, Dave. 99 pitches thrown so far by Kevin Brown. Charlie Huff, who used to throw that many in 2 innings. Great knuckleballer, comes out to talk to him. Just when you're throwing a knuckleball day after day, you can throw about as many as you want. Your arm doesn't tend to fall off.
Well, Brownie's not due to hit for a while. He made the second out in the bottom of the 5th, so that's not a consideration, but he could be getting near his limit right now. I think they'd like to see him get out Jay Bell. With the left-hander Travis Lee on deck, Brown might be facing his last batter.
Jay Bell will stand in. He's had a single, 1 for 3, came in the 3rd inning. And again, the Diamondbacks in this 2-2 ball game, out hitting the Dodgers 9-2, people on base, looking for that big hit. The home runs by Bernard Gilkey have come both times leading off the inning. They've not been able to get the big hit so far in this game with runners on base. Chance for it here by Bell. And the Dodgers clearly getting ready as Alan Mills coming over from Baltimore, and Pedro Bourbon continues. 0-1 count. Runners at first and second base. Bear in mind, Stinnett, the runner at second, lead runner, is not fast. And on a base hit, you have to be careful about trying to move him around third, even though there are 2 down. He'll take off, obviously, on contact. Bell takes that slider away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1. Just missed with that one. He wanted that call, didn't get it. 2-ball, 1 strike count.
Brownie up to 102. David Johnson said in ESPN's pregame radio show he was going to let Brown go about 100. So that puts more credence in the fact with Lee on deck, Kevin may be facing his last batter regardless if he gets out of the inning or not.
A 2-ball, 1 strike count. 18-game winner from last year. 2-1 delivery. Swung on it, missed. Just challenged Bell with that one. 2-2.
Well, again, the Diamondbacks have gotten the solo home runs from Bernard Gilkey, but they have stranded a lot of guys on base, not being able to get that key hit.
Brown making his 5th opening day start, 2-2 in opening day games. That one fouled off. This ball game is tied at 2-2, and the count is 2-2 with 2 down. Stinnett going back to second base and back to first Finley. The D-backs are really working Kevin Brown in this inning. He's had to throw a lot of pitches. 24th pitch of the inning. As he looks in with a 2-2 count. Gets the chopper foul. It stays there. We're talking between innings. This may be a record crowd here at Dodger Stadium today. Not unusual to have fans arriving late. It was sold out. There weren't any tickets available. Say over 57,000 expected to be here. Looking around out there in the pavilion area, there are no seats and there are no parking places either. And there'll be no way to get out of here after the game.
I don't think they've ever had 57,000 in this ballpark. They've added a few seats here and there, but
it is huge. Here's the 2-2 again. Bell ripped that one back.
Yeah, the amazing thing looking at this beautiful stadium that after this year, when a few clubs move into the new stadium, this will be the 4th oldest stadium in Major League Baseball. You got Fenway, Wrigley, and Yankee Stadium. Dodger Stadium was built in 1962.
And one of the game's beautiful ballparks. Always pleasant to come here. They've maintained the baseball atmosphere. God love them. No rock music. No junk stuff going on between innings so you can have a moment of silence and just to be able to talk to the guy next to you about baseball. Kind of nice. 2-2 count. Jay Bell waiting. Runners at first and second. And again, missed outside with that slider. 3-2.
They weren't allowed to play music because the fans wanted to listen to Vin Scully on their transistor radios.
That's a good reason. Then he, of course, threw out the first pitch today and working the game. There he is.
50th year with the Dodgers. Wow.
3-2 delivery. Runners go. Swung on. Left field. In the yard. Sheffield. It's blowing. It's gone. Goodbye home run. That ball just kept going and going. Sheffield kept backing up. Ran out of room. A 3-run homer for Jay Bell. And a 5-2 lead for the Diamondbacks.
You know, Kevin Brown's last spring training tune-up, the Astros hit 3 home runs off him down in Vero Beach. And again, he gives up 8 all of last year and gives up 3 this afternoon in his debut at Dodger Stadium.
A monumental surprise and an unpleasant one for the Los Angeles Dodgers. As Kevin Brown in his first start as a Dodger is going to hear. So Jay Bell has homered in his last 2 games. He homered in his final at-bat last year to reach the 20 mark. And
Jay Bell going to talk to this ball a little bit. Looking. Get up. I think he got a little help from the wind, but hey, whatever it takes.
And a base hit. As the D-backs now have 11 hits in this game. The single picked up by Travis Lee. Of course, the bases were cleared with Brown knocked out of there and Pedro Bourbon coming out of the bullpen.
Well, Bourbon, who hasn't pitched in the major leagues since 1995.
Williams.
First pitch, base hit. Not exactly what he wanted.
Wow, what an attack here launched by the Diamondbacks so far in this game. This is the 8th man to the plate here in the 6th inning. Runner at first, 2 down, Matt Williams. We're talking about the D-backs getting that big hit with runners on. Well, they got it. There's no way I thought that fly ball by Bell was going to be out of here.
I didn't either, but even though the flags are fairly quiet right now, we looked up and there was a breeze definitely blowing to left field, and that ball was high in the air. Got some help.
109 pitches, 3 home runs off him. Strike on the outside corner with a fastball. 5 runs, 11 hits. Now for the Diamondbacks. Matt Williams up with a 1-1 count, 2 away, and Lee on at first base against Bourbon. 3 earned runs, 11 innings during the exhibition season. Runner goes. He never looked over. Throw is not going to be in time by Todd Hundley. So a stolen base picked up by Travis Lee, who got a big jump.
He really did, and I mean, nothing wrong with Hundley's arm on that, but no chance. I mean, Lee probably caught him napping. He went on first move, easily made it in.
You saw that hitch Bourbon has, Dave. That gives a base runner a great jump, huh?
Yeah, and I think Lee probably hasn't seen Bourbon before. He could have been just guessing, but he guessed right. 1
ball, 2 strike count. RBI opportunity for Williams. Walked, hit by a pitch, and struck out. Matt Williams with a chance to put his first RBI up for the year. And a breaking ball. Hundley has to block that one in the dirt. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
One of the things Williams did this spring was go back to more of an open stance that he utilized with the San Francisco Giants, especially in '94. Matt said, quite frankly, with a closed stance, he said, and this is what he said about himself, he said, I got a rather pronounced nose and I got very deep set eyes. He said, I couldn't see the ball very well. I got to open back up so I can see it better. And he had a terrific end of spring training, going 15 for his last 26.
Bourbon with the runner at second. 2-2 delivery to Williams. Hard into center field. That's going to be a base hit. Wide up with it. No play at the plate. RBI for Matt Williams. And the stolen base by Lee matters. And it is a 6-2 Diamondbacks lead.
One of the things the Dodgers were looking for all spring was left-handers in their bullpen. They cut loose Greg Cadaret. They also have a rookie named Onan Masakoka and Pedro Bourbon, but a bit of a surprise. So if the Dodgers have any concerns, it's a little bit about the defense and also their left-handed relief pitching, and Matt Williams really keeps the head down beautifully on that swing, and the Diamondbacks add another one.
Well, Pedro Bourbon getting back to the majors the first time since '96, being treated rudely here with 2 singles, a stolen base, and an RBI off him, and a 6-2 lead for the Diamondbacks. Everybody's hit in the inning with Gonzalez up. Runner at first base and 2 down. Bourbon's pitch grounded to first. Eric Karros, who is holding the bag, is in on it, and that'll do it. But a big-time inning. 5 runs across for the Diamondbacks that they've knocked out the Dodger starter, Kevin Brown, and added to their lead.
ESPN's Major League Baseball is brought to you by KFC, home of crispy strips. No bones, just the Colonel's delicious chicken.
And thanks for joining us. First game of our triple header here on opening day. Dodger Stadium, and the Diamondbacks are leading by a score of 6-2. Kevin Brown's been knocked out of there, and Dodger fans, not what they wanted to see. Randy Johnson's given up only 2 hits, 2 runs. Raul Mondesi's RBI single in the first, and the home run by Devon White, solo shot in the 4th inning. Now Johnson's got a 6-2 lead. He's walked 4, struck out 7. Fouled off. Gritsalanek, Sheffield, and Mondesi do up for the Dodgers. Randy Johnson, 7th career opening day. He's 2-0 in the previous 6 starts as an opening day pitcher. And that one misses up high. 2 ball, 1 strike count. He will want to be efficient in pitches thrown now. Stay in as long as he can to give himself a chance at the win on this opening day. Foul back, and a 2-2 count on Gritsalanek, who was walked and struck out. Dodgers won the series against Arizona in the Diamondbacks' first year last year, 8-4 in the 12 games that they played. These teams opening up here in Los Angeles this season. 2-2 delivery. And that yacker bounced about 4 feet in front of the plate.
Had great control with the slider early in the game. Lately, he's been holding on to it too long. Nearly got Beltre, hit Eric Young in the knee, and almost got Grzelcyk there.
I have to put that one in his back pocket for a while.
Yeah, the release point, not quite what he wants on that pitch right now.
Grzelcyk with a 3-2 delivery to it, and fights off the fastball to keep his at-bat alive.
Just when you're a hitter, you're saying he's got to throw the fastball. Now he can't control the slider, and then if he drops Mr. Slurve on you, you just kind of shake your head and go sit down.
Try not to fall down while swinging. And reached for it and fouled off again. Well, the count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Great note we were talking about before the game on this pitching staff of the Diamondbacks. There you see Kevin Brown and against the lineup.
Yeah, those numbers usually aren't Kevin Brown type numbers, but he wasn't quite on today, nor Randy hasn't been as sharp, even though he's only allowed 2 hits.
And that one's going to be up high. So the walk to Grzelcyk opens up the inning. Let's check in again with Trey Wingo.
Well, Gary and Dave, you didn't get the pitching matchup you were expecting. The Phillies and Braves didn't get it either. Marlon Anderson, the rookie for the Phillies, a shot to center. 2 runs will score, and Lieberthal and Abreu, Glavine and Schilling both gone as the Phillies lead it 5-4, guys.
That's the old adage. Pitchers are supposed to be ahead of hitters at the start of the year.
Well, one of the reasons spring training lasts so long is because it's to get pitchers in shape. But obviously, Rick Helling struggled today. Ashby yesterday. Hasn't worked out that way.
And the Dodgers now will try and mount a comeback here in the bottom half of the 6th. 1 on, nobody out. Sheffield 0 for 2.
Randy 5 walks and a hit batter, so it's been a lot of pitches for Randy with walks, hit batter, and strikeouts.
Sheffield, they play deep with that home run power he's got. And he'll take that pitch inside. He draws a lot of walks, respected hitter, 5th in on-base percentage last year. And a 2-0 count, so he's got a hitter's pitch going right here. Sheffield, of course, subject of stories in spring training, saying at one point how he maybe wished he had just retired if he didn't have the long contract. That's what he would have done. Recanted on that a couple of days ago, saying I really shouldn't have said that. It's supposed to be a leader and someone youngsters look up to, and that's not the kind of statement I want people to hear, and I'm sure Davey Johnson and he probably had a little discussion about that statement as well. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Johnson's pitch, a hard chopper towards short. That's 1. Relay over to first. They turn 2. Bautista making it easily to lead. So Sheffield has hit into a double play now twice in this game.
Well, one of the things about Sheffield, for the enormous talent he's had, this is his 11th year in the big leagues, and he's really only had 2 years where he produced 30 homers and 100 RBIs. That was 92 and 96. The one in 96 got him the huge contract, but there have been times in Gary's career when he's been a little disappointing. Had a pitch to handle, but Randy Johnson will take the double play ball. That's 2 double plays the Diamondbacks have turned today.
And that clears the bases. 2 down, nobody on. Raul Mondesi, the RBI single in the first. And then struck out. Off-speed breaking ball he goes after and misses. Strike 1.
Well, Unit working on his 3rd time through the lineup. Control has been the thing, though.
And that's where the repertoire matters, Dave. I mean, if you only have 1 primary pitch, or even if it's just 2 sometimes, 2nd, 3rd times through that lineup, hitters have seen you and will get to you. But with the repertoire these guys have, they can go through it 3, 4 times, and you're still wondering.
Well, with Randy has that burning fastball, and then when he gets the bite on the slider, that's virtually unhittable. Again, he left 1 up to Devon White.
1-2 delivery, just a little lean back on Mondesi.
It's one thing Randy does a lot more than he used to. He'll throw the slider, and then the hitter starts thinking about it. Then he'll bury that fastball in. He used to go away most of the time with a fastball to the righties.
2-2 delivery. Thought he had the strikeout. Johnson was heading into the dugout, but Bruce Fleming will bring him back. Aaron Holmes up in the bullpen as Johnson's approaching the number of pitches that will bring him out of the game. 3 ball, 2 strike count. And he missed again. 6 walks, 7 strikeouts and a hit batter. 2 walks in this inning.
Well, Kevin Brown, one of those type pitchers, he has never had a major arm injury in his life, and he's not one of those guys that goes in the clubhouse and gets ice. He just kind of staring, wondering what happened today. He has a magical arm, though, folks. I suspect he'll be back and have a better performance than today.
Throws hard even on off days. One of the few pitchers who, on the off days when he throws on the side, throws as hard as he can. 2 down. Runner on at first base. Von White delivered the long blow, his last at bat, 1 for 2 with a homer.
A lot of times the day after Kevin Brown pitches, he goes out and takes ground balls at shortstop for 15 minutes. People say, why do you do that? He said, it helps me work on my defense. I can't stand on the mound and do it on an off day when they're pitching batting practice.
So his back muscles loosened up too that pitchers use so much. 2-0 count. Randy Johnson struggling with the strike zone now. Did not walk a lot of batters, 86 last year in 184 innings. He has now reached the 100 pitch mark. And that one's looped on the inside outer. Mondesi at second makes a turn. Throw comes behind him but was off the mark. Be backed up by Matt Williams. That might have caught him as Bernard Gilkey rifled that one in with Mondesi taking a pretty big turn at second base.
I tell you, that was almost a major mistake by Mondesi. Down 4 runs, and had Gilkey's throw been right on the base, he'd have been a gone duck.
Devon White's 2 for 3, hard single. And Mark Connor's going to come out, the pitching coach, and talk with Randy Johnson.
Well, decision time for the Diamondback staff. Connor talking to Unit. Randy's due to hit 4th next inning, but that shouldn't have anything to do with it. I'm sure they just want to know, can you got enough gas left to get one more batter out? And Unit gives him the answer. Watch Mondesi come around the base here after the hit by Devon White. With 2 outs, you don't gamble going to 3rd, and Gilkey, had he thrown a strike in, they might have had Mondesi. Raul got caught between.
2 down. Dodger fans into it. Eric Karros, last time up, strikeout victim, drew a walk in his first at bat.
Little country hardball right there. Here's my best fastball. Hit it if you can.
Karros missed the start of last year on the DL surgery. Left knee, came back and hit .296, 23 homers, 87 RBIs. Those kind of numbers expanded out over the full season become very respectable. Dodgers down 6-2, 2 on. Fouled off as he jammed that one in on the fist. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Alex Karros. Dodger lineup hit only .252 last year, 13th in the league. They need big hits. Mondesi and White, the base runners. And that one looped towards right field. Bell's over and makes the play. So Randy Johnson gets the out. He did, and no runs. A base hit. Couple are left on by the Dodgers after 6-6-2 Diamondbacks. First game of our triple-header coming up tonight. Mark McGuire. The chase begins anew. The Brewers, the combatants, 7 o'clock Eastern time. You'll see McGuire. See if he can start the season out with another dinger. That's the one he hit last year for the record. And then the Yankees, who won it last year. This was the final out in the World Series. For their World Championship, they take on the A's. All coming up here on ESPN. Roger Clemens making the start, of course, for the Yankees.
How come nobody talks about Gil Heredia? He's starting for the A's tonight.
There you go. The way the day is going in baseball, he may be the one that's written about tomorrow.
Never know.
The Diamondbacks have the 6-2 lead, 6-12-0 for Arizona, 2-3-0 for the Dodgers. And Mel Rojas is on the mound for Bourbon, who worked a 1/3 of an inning.
Rojas, of course, had some great years with Montreal, but quite frankly has struggled the last few years with the Cubs and Mets. Picked up in a trade in the off-season. Certainly the offensive star, one of them for the Diamondbacks. Bernard Gilkey steps in.
Bernard Gilkey's had 2 home runs and a single. Mel Rojas' big problem has been giving up homers. Rojas with that great sinker when he was on in Montreal, that split-fingered pitch, which ate batters up. But over the last couple of years, that pitch has not moved down in the strike zone, and it has been nailed. He has been susceptible to the long ball. Gilkey takes it inside, 1-1.
Talked about Gilkey and the laser surgery. The Diamondbacks tried to trade him to the Pirates this year for Al Martin and Tony Womack. Gilkey refused the trade. They eventually got Womack anyway. But I think maybe the Diamondbacks might be thinking now it's a good thing that Bernard vetoed the trade, because he was traded in the middle of a multi-year contract. He had the right to veto it.
Tony Womack out. Fractured right ulna. He's on the DL. He'll be a starter. Fouled off. And the count's even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the pitching line for Brown was 5 runs, 10 hits over 5 2/3 with 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Bourbon worked a third of an inning, a run on 2 hits. And now Mel Rojas comes on. Clearly, these 2 pitchers in relief for the Dodgers are very big question marks for LA. Bourbon, can he come back, not having pitched in the majors since '96? And can Rojas do that consistently? Gets the strikeout against Gilkey.
Finally got the bottom to drop out of a breaking ball, so Gilkey walks away and Rojas gets his first man. No, I don't think there's any doubt the Dodger bullpen's got some question marks. They got the great closer in Jeff Shaw. Antonio Acuna's on the DL. He had elbow surgery last year and is a little slow coming back. So Allen Mills and Rojas are going to have to pick it up, and they certainly weren't too thrilled with Bourbon's performance today.
Well, 1 down, nobody on. Bautista. And Rojas misses down low. Besides the pitcher, Randy Johnson, Bautista is the only regular without a hit so far for the Diamondbacks, who've gathered a dozen. 6 runs and 12 hits.
This figures to be a most interesting division. Both the Diamondbacks and Dodgers spent an awful lot of money. The Rockies spent about $180 million to keep their team together, signing almost all their own players. Padres lost some, and then there's the Giants, who are always going to battle you.
Arrows coming over in that deep foul territory. Bautista still without a hit, becomes a second out here in the 7th inning. 2 down and nobody on against Rojas. And Kelly Stinnett coming up. He had a single his last time up, the catcher, with 2 down and nobody on. Kind of a quiet sellout crowd right now at Dodger Stadium, hoping Dodgers can make a big comeback, but only 3 hits in the game and trailing by a score of 6-2.
A little surprise, Randy's coming out to the on-deck circle, and nobody's warming in their bullpen, so it appears that he definitely is not on a pitch count today.
Over the 100 mark already for Randy Johnson, with 7 strikeouts and 6 walks, but only 3 hits. 0-1 delivery, and Stinnett doesn't get it. 0-2.
Bullpen's also going to be a huge question mark for the Diamondbacks. Greg Olson, their closer, they say he's okay now, but he struggled all spring with a bad forearm. And they've gotten a bunch of setup men in the last couple of weeks. Darren Holmes and John Frascatore they picked up. Brian Anderson, a starter, is down in the bullpen, a starter a year ago. In fact, the Dodgers and Diamondbacks both have the luxury of 6 possible starters, with Dave Malicki for the Dodgers and Brian Anderson for the Diamondbacks.
Even Armando Reynoso is going to go down and work in the bullpen here for the first week for Buck Showalter. He'll be their number 4 starter. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Way up high is Rojas with that one. That'll leave the count at 2-2 with 2 down and nobody on. Rojas, and he got him. So Rojas, good job here in the 7th inning, as he had split-fingered pitch working, gets a couple of strikeouts and sets him down in order. And the fans up for the 7th inning stretch here at Dodger Stadium, and hoping their Dodgers can mount a comeback down to the Arizona Diamondbacks by a score of 6-2. And yes, Randy Johnson, the left-handed starter, has stayed in this ball game. He'll come back out to the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, Randy's gotten a couple of key double play balls. He's only allowed 3 hits, but he's walked a total of 6 and hit a batter. But he's gotten key outs. Kevin Brown kept getting the key outs all day until Jay Bell finally hit a 3-run homer off him.
And the Dodgers will have Todd Hundley leading it off. Hundley's 0 for 2, has struck out twice. Adrian Beltre will follow, then Kevin Brown. dryer on hand watching the game today. Lots of notables from around Los Angeles and Hollywood on hand here for this opener, and we got a problem. And the trainer's coming, and Randy Johnson.
Well, Kelly Sinnett saw something right away. Again, Johnson did have a groin strain. I was a little surprised he came back out for the 7th. Buck Showalter, training staff coming out, Mark Conner, the pitching coach. Stinnett saw something right away and started walking to the mound.
The last thing you want, obviously, is any kind of a physical problem in game 1. Johnson worked in B games for the Diamondbacks for the final week and a half of spring training, trying to rest that groin. Fremming out there, and Johnson's going to leave.
I don't think he's leaving. He's sprinting off the field and left his glove. Maybe it's an equipment problem. I don't know. I mean, you don't drop your glove on the field and run off the field. So now Davy Johnson wants to come out and find out what's going on.
This could be one that you smile on. Here comes Davy Johnson. He'll talk with Bruce Fremming, home plate umpire.
Let's see if we can see anything here. Well, he kind of flinched that leg a little bit, and that's what Stinnett saw right away. But the way Johnson ran off and dropped his glove on the field, you have to think he's coming back. I just wonder if they're going to strap up his leg or what.
Bruce Fremming tells Davy Johnson what the problem was, and Randy Johnson, obviously with the way he's running, isn't hurting too bad. Comes right back out and gets his glove. Buck Showalter, I'm sure, asking about whether or not this counts as a trip to the mound. As if it's a physical problem, it may not. If it's just a problem with equipment or something, then it does. Showalter wants to know, are you all right? Johnson emphatically says, yes, I am. A reminder, Sunday Night Baseball this week featuring the American League West battle, as the Angels will be taking on the Texas Rangers. Mo Vaughn, Darren Ersten, Tim Salmon against Juan Gonzalez, Ivan Rodriguez, Rusty Greer. Lots of bats in that one coming up Sunday night. So Randy Johnson back to work here, and the pitch taken up high. Maybe the first question he'll have to answer as to the game is, what was that all about? It's a 2-1 count. Swung on and missed by Todd Hundley, 2-2.
Where's Swanee when we need him?
That's right.
Mike Swanson, the media relations director. I'm sure we'll get a visit.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Swung on and missed, and Todd Hundley has had no success. He has struck out all 3 times up against Randy Johnson, who's got 8 in the game.
Silver sombrero for Hundley. So a couple of key guys for the Dodgers, Kevin Brown and Todd Hundley, have not had good debuts, but it's only one of 162. Got him with that slider again. That thing's been disappearing down all day.
Hundley just nowhere near the hitter from the right side of the plate that he is when he's batting left-handed. 1 down, nobody on. Beltre up to be followed by the pitcher's spot. Beltre's 0 for 2.
Johnson 102 times in his career has had double-digit strikeouts. He's sitting on 9 right now.
Major league leader last year, yet one more time with those 329 strikeouts. 2-0 count. And a strike on the outside corner to Beltre. Comes right back on him, 2-1.
Only Nolan Ryan Moore, but I'd say 215 times is a pretty good stretch to get there.
Beltre fouls that pitch back, and the count will stay at 2-2. Sandy Koufax,
383 in 1 year, or 382. Nolan Ryan got him at 383, most in 1 year.
Career shortened by physical problems for the great Sandy Koufax in the Hall of Fame. Still goes around to some of the minor league camps working with some pitchers, not just the Dodgers. Shows up at other camps with pitchers he likes, helps, and a shot and a base hit. So Beltre is on his first hit, and that'll be just the 4th off Randy Johnson. 1 on, 1 down. A reminder, Sports Center coming up on The Deuce. with all the day's news. In fact, it's on right now.
Your attention, please.
Major League Baseball's opening day after opening night last night in Monterrey, Mexico. And all the sports news on SportsCenter and the Deuce. One down. Jose Vizcaino will be the pinch hitter for Mel Rojas, who pitched one solid inning, striking out 2 and retiring the side in order, did Rojas. Vizcaino was in a battle all spring with Grudzelanic for the shortstop job. Made the ball club despite rumors of a trade. Still possible. But he's with the Dodgers to open it up. 1 on, 1 down. Vizcaino. Right field on the looper. Bernard Gilkey battling the sun and makes the catch. Gilkey stayed with it. And that will retire Vizcaino for the second out.
Well, we know Dodger Stadium, especially when it gets into October and they play in postseason, center field can be a minefield, but Bernard really struggled with it. No sunglasses. I'm sure Buck Showalter, he's got sunglasses, but they're up on top of his head. Buck may say, hey, put them on. They aren't doing any good up on top of your cap.
Especially this hour of the day, and you've got a really tough angle. Gilkey's checking it out again.
Randy doing some stretching exercises on the mound, so it's obvious the groin's bothering him a little bit, but hey, with 34 more starts to go, he's not going to be a hero here.
Eric Young, we understand, as Mike Swanson indeed came in to visit, that he has that groin wrapped, a groin wrap on it, and it came loose. So they went back and re-wrapped, and that's why he had to go off the field. And a pitch taken inside. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 down. Young has walked twice and hit by a pitch, stolen 2 bases, got picked off in what was counted as a caught stealing last time he was on. 2-0 delivery to him, and he takes that one for a strike, 2-1. Dodgers trailing by 4.
You know, Young doing it, what he needs to do as a leadoff man. He's been on 3 times, 2 walks, the hit by the pitch, and down 4 runs. Good idea to take that pitch there. 2 balls, no strikes.
Trying to get runners on for the middle of the lineup. Johnson's pitch, hard line drive, base hit. What a day Young's having. Making the turn, Beltre, he'll go easily to third, and the Dodgers, with 2 down, have runners on at first and third with Grudzelanic due up. Let's check in with Trey Wingo. Trey.
All right, Gary, this is not what the Mets need. Al Leiter struggled all spring, 0-3, and against the Marlins, his struggles continue. In the 5th, former Met Preston Wilson knocks in Derek Lee, knocked Al out of the game. Right now, the Marlins leading the Mets in the 7th, 5-1.
Now, the Mets picked by many to be the wild card team in the National League, opening up in Florida. And this is going to be it for Randy Johnson. He's not going to get through this inning. Mark Connor on his way out. So the 2 starters, Kevin Brown, Randy Johnson, both have their share of problems today. Brown clearly the most, as he gave up 3 home runs and 5 runs in 5 2/3. They say he's coming out. They look to the bullpen. Maybe not. No, I take it back. Sorry, I thought that first visit was going to count, but it didn't because it was because of the wrap, so they counted it as a medical visit, so that's the first visit.
Yeah, the other thing Connor did when he came out of the dugout was put his hand up, but I guess he was signaling for time for Bruce Fleming, so they're going to give him at least 1 more hitter here.
My apologies, opening day. Screw up on the signs, you know what I mean? Missed that one. Runners at first and third, 2 down.
2 minutes in the penalty box for you.
And a misconduct. Grudzelanic, couple of walks and is struck out. Randy Johnson stays on. Up high, ball 1. See whether or not he has the same fate befall him that did to Brown when they decided to leave him in, and Jay Bell hit a 3-run homer. 1-0 delivery. Foul tipped into the mitt. 1 ball, 1 strike on Grudzelanic. 2 singles. Beltre just came with 1 down. And Young with 2 away. They are the base runners. Beltre on at third. Good speed with Young at first. Johnson with a 1-1 delivery. Grudzelanic, no chance on that pitch. 1-2.
4-run lead takes away a little bit of the Dodgers' aggressiveness. Eric Young got caught off last time after stealing a couple of bases. Wouldn't figure he would run here.
Stinnett getting signs from the dugout and then walks out in front, signaling the coverage here. Sort of the quarterback of the baseball team from behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strike count. They will hold the runner, Young at first, even though there are 2 down. Young goes, swung on and missed, doesn't matter. And Johnson gives it the big yes as he comes off the mound. 9 strikeouts for him. The Dodgers with a couple of hits, but they leave 2 after 7. D-backs lead it by 4.
A reminder coming up, Mark McGwire. What does he do after he hits 70? Well, he goes for his 4th straight 50 home run season. Brewers and Cardinals coming up next.
Part of our triple header on this opening day. This game 1, 6-2 lead for the Diamondbacks. Jose Vizcaino will stay in the ball game for Grutzelarnik at short, batting second and coming on to make his major league debut. Onan Masaoka, who is from Hawaii, 21 years old, Double-A ball last year, and this will be the first pitch he's ever thrown at the major league level, and he'll do it against pinch hitter Eric Young. The numbers from San Antonio last year. Ernie Young, rather, I'm sorry. And his first pitch is a strike. Young up as the pinch hitter.
Young kind of a surprise to make the club in spring training. A former outfielder with the A's, but he led the Diamondbacks with 5 homers this spring.
Masaoka, the left-hander, missing down low with that one. And a 1 ball, 1 strike count. 4th pitcher used by the Dodgers in the game. Mel Rojas a solid inning. Randy Johnson out of the ball game. Finished it off after working 7. Struck out 9, walked 6. Gave up just 5 hits, a couple of runs, including the homer by Devon White. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Young.
Masaoka wearing Oral Hershiser's old number. Double 5s.
Looking at the Mets game with Leiter starting, Hershiser, of course, finally ended up with New York. The Mets.
Hasn't been a real good day for the aces of pitching staffs, has it?
Nope. All the ace starters on opening day. But it's the hitters who have so far piled up the numbers. 3-2 delivery. And that's a walk, so the leadoff man is on. Masaoka delivering the walk to Young, the pinch hitter for Johnson. We piled up some walks in this game.
Center fielder
Davey Johnson, first game
Number
for the
12.
Dodgers as manager. His club down by 4 in the 8th inning. Finley, the leadoff batter, a couple of singles. Finley's gone 2 for 4, and then Jay Bell on deck. Masaoka. Left-handers in with a strike to Finley. One of the reasons Masaoka getting the chance here, of course, with Finley be batting in the inning. The left-hander against left-hander. Held at first base. Young. Towering pop-up. Second base. And is there and puts it away. Finley's retired, 1 down.
Kevin Brown had a 1-2-3 inning in the first. Mel Rojas had 1 in the 7th. Randy Johnson faced the minimum in the 5th. There's still a lot of runner. He picked off Eric Young, but there's been a lot of runners on base in this ball game.
About 8 have been left on by Arizona, 6 left on by the Dodgers. 8 runs, 17 hits total in game 1 for these 2 teams. Jay Bell, the huge blow so far in this game. His throw goes to first. Bell came up. It's the last batter to be faced by Kevin Brown. Bell hit a 3-run homer to left field. He's 2 for 4. Fly ball to left that looked like it was going to stay in the ballpark. Sheffield and left kept backing up, and ran out of room. 1 down. Masaoka's pitch. Missed up high with it. Falls behind. Bell checking to see whether or not anything's on the bases.
You got to try to stay back against Masaoka. He really jumps at the hitter. And when you haven't seen a guy, you have a tendency to jump at him, and if you're in the batter's box.
Allowed only 1 earned run in 13 innings, struck out 16 and walked 8 in spring training. Masaoka. Opponents hit only 159 off him. Fastball, and he can bring it. He's got good heat. But not finding the strike zone here. 2-0. Again, Bell looking to see what might be on. Double-A San Antonio last year, that 6-6 mark, with 1 save, 27 appearances. A Double-A ball for Masaoka. And right now, he's just struggling with the strike zone by a lot. 3-0.
Well, from Double-A to 57,000 folks. Youngster a little bit erratic. I agree with you. I think he's got pretty good stuff.
Only 21 years old. Another probable example in this day and age of a young pitcher who needed more time in the minors. The organization just doesn't have that time to give him. If you can throw hard and throw some strikes, you've got to be up here.
See if they start Ernie Young at first base. He's got to make sure Masaoka throws the ball to the plate. Figure 3 balls, 1 strike. Bell, a pretty good contact hitter. Doesn't have to swing if it's ball 4. Let's see if they start it.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Young off first, is running, and it's a walk. So Masaoka's come on and surrendered another walk. 2 on. Difference in this ball game, Dave?
Home run ball. Bernard Gilkey had hit one earlier after a Devon White homer. Gilkey ties it at 2. Again, Brown doesn't give up very many, but with the score tied at 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jay Bell, gets one to left. The wind just kept bringing it, and it took it out of the ballpark, made it 5-2. The Diamondbacks have added 1 since.
And now a threatening to add to it again. 2 on, 1 away in the 8th inning. Travis Lee hit the ball hard his last 2 times up, and he has a couple of hits, 2 for 4, single and a double, and a run scored. Bernard Gilkey with the 2 home runs, 2 RBIs, and Jay Bell, that big blast he put up, 3 RBIs. Matt Williams the other. Breaking ball, hard breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike as that missed up high. There is Gilkey starting his season out so far with a 3 for 4 day and 2 home runs. Bell has had a 2 for 4 day, 3 RBIs, and a 3-run homer. Faked to second base.
Todd Hundley might have spotted that because Young was taking an aggressive lead on the first pitch, so Hundley might have reminded the youngster, don't let him get a walking lead on you.
Lee hit 239 off left-handers last year. Takes that fastball down low. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Travis Lee, 4 home runs off left-handers and 18 off right-handers. 23-year-old first baseman for Arizona with a 2-1 count. Not a big lead at second now. Check swing, and he went around on that one. 2-2.
Presence of a veteran catcher, Todd Hundley. He knew the youngster Lee, with a 21-year-old rookie on the mound, would be sitting dead red on fastball, and Hundley called breaking ball.
On Masaoka, check second base, 2-2. Lee waiting on fastball, got one but didn't get around on it. Remains a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Whole different mindset. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lee sitting dead red, and Masaoka snaps off a hook. Now it's 2-2. You've really planted something in the hitter's mind. You throw him a fastball that's hittable in the middle of the plate, but Lee was thinking about that curveball. Was very late on the fastball.
See what he uses here in this 2-2 with 1 down. Lee waiting, swung on, drilled it to left field, and Adam ball. Hauled in. Sheffield throw come back into second base. No chance on a play there. Ball was ripped, but Lee's retired. Second out of the inning. 2 down. That'll bring up Matt Williams.
Number 9, Matt.
Boy, Travis Lee has had a good day at the plate, though. I always say some days, you know, you have a good day and don't get a hit. He's hit the ball hard.
Well, he's got a sweet stroke. Went a little to a defensive posture once the count was 2-2, but still hit a bullet to the opposite field.
Now the left-hander will work against Matt Williams, a 300 hitter off southpaws last year, 45 points higher than he had against right-handers. And he fouls it back. Williams an RBI single in his last at bat.
Well, Davy Johnson didn't have anybody up in the bullpen. Again, with a 4-run lead, you're not quite as apt to play the strategy game. Otherwise, Matt Williams might be seeing Alan Mills in this situation. Dodgers and Diamondbacks again tomorrow, so Davey doesn't want to use up his bullpen.
Chan-Ho Park to start for the Dodgers. Todd Stottlemyre, another newly acquired member of the Diamondback staff. 0-1 delivery, and that one hit in the air off the end of the bat. White coming, broke the wrong way, but he'll haul it in. Williams retired. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Diamondbacks 6 and the Dodgers 2.
Well, Randy Johnson had a fairly dominant afternoon. The control a little suspect from 20 at fastball. Fastball to Devon White. Todd Hundley tied up. Adrian Beltre tied up in an inside fastball, and then he nasty slider back to the fastball, and Hundley again a slider. Then his biggest strikeout, getting Grzelcyk in the 7th for his 9th strikeout, and Randy pumped up about it, maintaining that 4-run lead.
So he's got a chance for the win. Take a look at our Nike game summary. You see the 12 hits put up by Arizona in this opener. Gilkey, the 2 solo home runs. Bell, a 3-run homer. Dodgers, the solo home run by White. Mondesi, the other RBI. Kevin Brown not have the kind of start he wanted here for his opener as a Dodger. Darren Holmes is now on for Randy Johnson, 32-year-old, recently acquired by the Diamondbacks to help out in that bullpen. Gary Sheffield leads it off against Holmes and takes the pitch for the strike.
Diamondbacks mid-relief last year was a real minefield. They picked up Darren Holmes and John Frascatore the last week of spring training. Holmes coming over for Ben Ford and Izzy Molina, plus the Yankees threw in $1 million to help pay the salary of Holmes.
0-1 pitch, foul straight back, catching Bruce Fleming.
Holmes got one of the better breaking balls in baseball when he throws it for strikes. Spent a lot of years with the Colorado Rockies, and when you pitch in Coors Field, they always say the curveball doesn't work very well, but on certain days he had it going pretty well.
A reliever whose record is 28-25 in the majors with 57 saves. Most of those coming with Colorado. And that pitch taken up high. A 1-ball, 2-strike count as the Dodgers running out of time here. Bottom half of the 8th inning, down by 4. Sheffield, Mondesi, and White are due up for them. 2 ground ball double plays have been hit into by Sheffield that helped end Dodger threats in this game. That pitch just missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reynoso, we told you, is in the bullpen, even though he's going to be a starter. And Swindell will be used out of the bullpen as a left-hander in the middle of the ball game. 2-2 delivery to Sheffield. Breaking ball, and that one missed, and the count is now full.
0-2 and 1-2 pitches were mighty close. Bruce Fleming has long been known more as a hitter's umpire than pitchers. I don't know if that had any effect on Brown or Johnson today or not.
3-2. Dodgers need base runners. Sheffield waiting. Rips that one. He'll be on. Gonzalez over to cut it off. Sheffield a big turn. Gonna try for 2. Here's the throw. Not in time. Lead-off double for Sheffield in the 8th inning.
Holmes threw a breaking ball, but didn't have a lot of downward rotation. It was right in the middle of the plate. Sheffield knows what to do with that pitch.
He had the play in front of him, Sheffield did. Saw he had time and took it. So Holmes, his first batter faced. Sheffield's on. Nobody out. Raul Mondesi. Mondesi a walk and a single. 3 plate appearances. RBI single for him. That's going to be a base hit into left field. Sheffield will stop at 3rd. And the Dodgers mounting an attack in the 8th inning. Ball gets away. They got a chance at 2nd. No. Whoa, Mondesi has come so close to making huge mistakes base running wise in this game and almost got caught again.
When Travis Lee picked up that ball, he was right in the baseline, so he tried to lob it over Mondesi and nearly threw it into left field. So that'll be an error probably on Gonzalez for throwing it wild at second base.
Error on the throw from left field.
You see, Lee's got him, but he has to lob it over Mondesi's head, and Raul got away with murder twice on the base paths today. He's a dead duck, but he did not make a good throw.
First error we've had today. Gonzalez charged with it. What it does, for one thing, is takes away the possible double play. Now Devon White. Nobody out. Fouled off on the Holmes delivery, strike one. White has gone 0 for 4 in his appearances lifetime against Holmes. Holmes has been tagged hard by the two right-handers, Sheffield and Mondesi. Nice ball right there. 0-2. Devon White got his home run in the 4th inning and singled in the 6th. Base hit here, could drive in a couple. The outfield very deep on White. Darren Holmes. Off speed strike on the outside corner. A big time pitch in a key situation. White thought it was away. Bruce Drumming didn't.
Well, Holmes began his career in the Dodger organization and credits Sandy Koufax with teaching him the curveball. This is a dandy right there. That one might have been a little wide, but Bruce Drumming rings it up.
Second look, but So Holmes gets a strikeout for the first out. Eric Karros, a walk, a strikeout, and has popped out today. And he gets hit by Williams. That will score Sheffield. It is a 6-3 Diamondbacks lead. RBI Karros.
Well, Holmes has thrown about 85% breaking balls in the inning, and I think Karros might have been sitting on it. So now we see Buck Showalter. He may go out and want the left-hander. He doesn't want Hundley to bat left-handed, so he's going to bring in Swindell to keep Hundley batting right-handed.
Mondesi stopped at third. Karros is on at first. Hundley coming up with the Dodgers down by 3.
ESPN's Major League Baseball is brought to you by 1010-9000, America's directory assistance, and by Red Roof Inns. For reservations, call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
Back here in Los Angeles, Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell, and our crew. And Dodger fans who are leaving may be missing a comeback because it's 6-3 and the potential tying run's going to be coming to the plate. Don't forget, this is the first of 3 here on opening day. 3 Major League Baseball games. The Brewers and Cardinals coming up next from St. Louis. The veteran, Greg Swindell.
Well, again, Hundley, as you've mentioned, Gary, a much better hitter from the left side of the plate. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, batting right-handed. So Swindell will come in and try to get the ground ball. Hopefully for the Diamondbacks, they can turn a double play ball.
First and third, 1 down. Swindell signed as a free agent. Way up high to Todd Hundley. Ball 1.
Swindell, a starter most of his career, pitched out of the bullpen with the Twins and went over to the Red Sox, and the Diamondbacks, one of their early free agent signings this winter.
1-0 delivery. Breaking ball out in front of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swindell with a yacker down and into Todd Hundley, who has not faced Swindell before. Hundley at times has thought about going to just being a left-handed hitter, but he's been able to jack enough home runs from this side of the plate to keep switch hitting. And an inside corner strike. Hundley looks back at Fleming. 1-2.
I think Todd thought this ball was inside. Strike zone's getting a little floating right now.
1-2. Mondesi off third. Karros off first. 1-2 delivery, and that one came inside. Swindell's got a pitch that rides in on these right-handers. It looks so good coming in, and the next thing you know, it's cutting your fists off. Hundley thought about going after that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Diamondbacks leading 6-3, out hitting the Dodgers 12-8. And Hundley goes down again. 4 strikeouts for Todd Hundley in 4 at-bats.
Hundley up and out of the zone. Showalter wants the right-hander now, so Todd Hundley, the golden sombrero on opening day.
Ouch.
So, not what he wanted.
So we'll get another pitching change here to keep the matchups going. Swindell comes on and gets his job done. Diamondbacks have the 6-3 lead. Dodgers trying to come back. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell. You see one of the problems a lot of teams are going to struggle with again this year, Dave. You have great starters, but what do you do when you go to these pens that seem to be so weak?
Well, the amazing thing is both clubs spent a ton of money in the offseason, but it still shows you can't go 25 deep. It's very difficult sometimes to keep spending the money. Otherwise, you'd have clubs going over $100 million in salary for the entire team. But, you know, it's one of the things, the economics of the game. You got to save some money somewhere, and right now these bullpens are a question mark.
So if you ask your starters to go about as deep as you can, but even the best of them, even Randy Johnson, you're not going to get, you know, you get double-digit complete games, and that's about all you can ask. So teams that have the bullpen as the season goes along invariably find that to be a huge plus. In this case, the starters out of the pen.
Well, Armando Reynoso will be a starter for the Diamondbacks, but right now he's going to pitch out of the pen the first week of the season, and he'll be called on to go after young Adrian Beltre. So the wheels turning. Both Kevin Brown and Randy Johnson struggled a bit today. Brown more so than Randy. Randy ended up with 9 strikeouts.
Don't forget, second game of our triple-header. The Cardinals and the Brewers coming up next. We'll take you there immediately on the completion of this one. D-backs have a 6-3 lead. Dodger fans into it. Runners on at first and third, but there are now 2 down. Adrian Beltre up against Armando Reynoso. Another new acquisition. And a strike on the outside corner.
Reynoso far from overpowering, but a crafty pitcher, a lot of motion, deliver from 3 different angles, throws about 5 different pitches. You never know what to look for with Armando. He also has one of the great moves to first base of any pitcher in baseball, so Eric Karros cannot afford to get too far off. Reynoso has picked off more runners at first and second base than any other right-hander the last 4 years.
Beltre making the start for the Dodgers this year at third base. Put up a spring they were very happy with. 2 homers, 12 RBIs, and a very fine batting average. Beltre will have the opportunity at third, and now a big opportunity here at the plate, and a little something in the eyes, so he backs out. There's another player, probably could have used another year at the minors. But no time for that. The Dodgers.
Karros has about a 2-foot lead at first base, and a good idea.
0-1 delivery by Reynoso. Off the end of the bat, left center field. Gonzalez looking for help. Finley, the center fielder. And they get it done. So Swindell and Reynoso come out of the bullpen to get the outs they needed. Dodgers able to put 1 up, but still trails 6-3. Six-3 lead for the Arizona Diamondbacks as we go to the 9th inning here in Los Angeles. The high above the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, providing us with great aerial shots today. At the controls, pilot Joel Chamberlain. 1999, the 101st anniversary of Goodyear, 74th for its blimp fleet. We thank them for being with us here today in these shots over Dodger Stadium. The 5th pitcher used by the Dodgers will be 32-year-old right-hander Alan Mills.
Well, we've seen everybody in their bullpen except Dave Malicki and Jeff Shaw. So Alan Mills, Orioles last year, came over as a free agent. Dodgers welcomed him to their bullpen. He's got to try to hold down the fort and give his club a shot in the bottom of the 9th.
He was outstanding. Career high 77 innings, 72 appearances. Opponents hit only .203, 6th best in the American League among relievers last year with Baltimore. A couple of saves, 3-4 mark as he was the setup man. here. He comes on in the 9th inning just to try and keep it a 3-run game for the Dodgers. Luis Gonzalez leads it off. Gonzalez had a double in his first at-bat, his lone hit of the day. Swung on and missed off Mills. 0-2. It'll be Gonzalez, Gilkey, and Bautista due up. Gilkey's going to be looking for a 3-home-run day. Swung on and missed. Big time off-speed delivery in the dirt. Mills gets the strikeout.
George Bell of the Toronto Blue Jays, the only guy to hit 3 homers on opening day. Maybe somebody else, but I think George, the only guy to have 3 on opening day.
Gilkey will take a shot at having 3 right here. Big day for Bernard Gilkey. Both were leadoff homers. Kevin Brown, who gave up 3 home runs. Gilkey got 1 leading off the 4th. Picked up another one leading off the 6th, and in that 6th inning, also a 3-run homer by Jay Bell, all coming off Kevin Brown, the starter. Stands to lose this game with 5 runs, 10 hits over 5 2/3. Gilkey takes it outside. 1-0 count. Out of the stretch. Mills pitch popped up at the plate. Hundley is going to be called off, as it should happen. Beltry was there. 2 down.
Well, Bernard, we mentioned one of the reasons he was in the lineup. He's had great lifetime numbers against Kevin Brown. That was home run number 3 lifetime, and then in the 6th, with the Dodgers leading 2-1, he hit one the other way. His 4th lifetime homer in 14 at-bats against Kevin Brown.
Big blows in the game. Buck Showalter, scorecard in hand, 2 down in the 9th inning. Tony Bautista has had an 0 for 3. Mills with a fastball. Down low for a ball. Dodgers will be scheduled up with Vizcaino leading it off in the 9 spot in the bottom half of the 9th inning. And then Young and the pitcher due up. Swung on, foul, tipped into the mitt. 1-1.
That was one of the things I'm sure disturbed Buck Showalter. Not only did the Dodgers get a run in the 8th inning, but with the runners on base, now they get back to the middle of the order if anybody gets on in the 9th. You get to Sheffield, Mondesi, White, and Carroll again.
1-1 pitch. Do a little wood chopping on that one. Center field. Towering fly ball that'll be hauled in. Bautista retired with White out there. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Dodgers have to mount a comeback if they're going to win this one. Welcome back, everybody. 53,109. Not as many as the Dodgers had anticipated, but a great crowd. Still a sellout crowd here at Dodger Stadium. And the Dodgers coming up bottom of the 9th inning. Want to remind you, the quest for 71 begins here at ESPN as our next game, the second part of our triple header, Milwaukee at St. Louis and Mark McGuire. Then an edition of baseball tonight. That'll be at 10 o'clock, and then the Yankees in Oakland at 10:30. You've not missed anything in St. Louis. They have a rain delay in St. Louis, so that ball game has not started. Armando Reynoso had not come in as a reliever since 1995. The last time he relieved in a game is on the mound, staying in this ball game here in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Well, Greg Olson, their closer, is warming in the bullpen. A little bit of a surprise, but Showalter sent Reynoso back out.
Jose Vizcaino, 1 at bat, flied out. He's looking for a walk right here against Armando Reynoso in a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Reynoso trying to wrap this one up. One delivery. Pulled that one way foul in a 2-ball, 2-strike count. David DeLucia has come on in left field as a defensive change with Gonzalez coming out. And Powell moves, Dante Powell, to right field off the bench as Bernard Gilkey is done. Armando Reynoso stays on the mound. Reynoso, 1 career save. 1. Came with Atlanta in 1992. As we said, not used in relief since September of '95. 2-2. Right off the fist. Slow roller. Going to be a tough play. And they didn't get him. Bautista circling the ball that time. And Jose Vizcaino's got some decent speed, especially batting left-handed, is on with an infield hit.
Well, Vizcaino just fought it off. He got jammed, but Bautista did everything he could, but just could not get the speedy Vizcaino. Beat it by a step.
6-3. Diamondbacks leading the Dodgers. Bottom of the 9th inning. Kevin Brown, pitcher of record, the starter, giving up the 5 runs on 10 hits. Eric Young at the plate, leadoff batter. Swung through that one. Strike one.
Pitcher spot due next. Dave Hansen has moved out on deck. Diamondbacks do not, I don't believe, have any left-handed action in their bullpen. They still have Brian Anderson.
Quick throw. That's what Dave was talking about. Armando Reynoso will get the ball over to any bag, actually, with a plethora of motions.
You don't want to get picked off trailing 3 runs in the 9th inning.
0-1 count. Young waiting. Pitches outside to him. 1 ball, 1 strike.
These two former teammates with the Colorado Rockies, Eric Young and Armando Reynoso.
Big day today for Eric Young. All kinds of stuff. Couple of steals. Picked off once. Single his last time up. His job now to get that potential tying run to the plate with Hansen pinch hitter, and then you get the Sheffield and Raul Mondesi. And that's what Reynoso does not want. 1-1 delivery. Outside, hard slider. 2 ball, 1 strike count on Young. Reynoso making just his 6th appearance in relief for Buck Showalter's club. 126 career game. All the rest is a starter. Vizcaino with a very short lead at first base. 2-1 delivery. And that one off the fist. Matt Williams, foul territory. And there's the first out in the 9th. Young's retired. Dave Hansen announced now as the pinch hitter for Alan Mills.
Hansen had a couple of good years here with the Dodgers. Then he went on to the Cubs, and he ended up in Japan. But Dodgers looking for some left-handed pinch hit strength. Hansen went to spring training with him, had a good spring, and made the club.
Dave Hansen comes on here. Again, just trying to get on. Not hit into what could be a game-ending double play. 1 down. Reynoso's pitch, and that one's popped up. Shallow left field. Bautista can't get it. And the Dodgers will get a potential tying run to the plate with the power hitters coming up. Hansen a pinch hit single.
Well, the Dodgers have hit 2 absolute numbers in the inning, but they bring the tying run to the plate with Sheffield and Mondesi due next.
Now does Buck Showalter go to the pen?
I don't know. He seems a little reluctant. Hansen got sawed off, but right out in no man's land. And Buck Showalter wants his closer, Greg Olson.
So Reynoso is not going to pick up the save. He's out of there. No easy win here. Diamondbacks have the 6-3 lead, but the Dodgers bottom of the 9th inning will bring the tying run to the plate. The 2 starters, so much talked about in this game, Kevin Brown, Randy Johnson, are still the pitchers of record in this game. Johnson with a couple of earned runs in the ball game, 5 hits, 7 innings, struck out 9 but walked 6 through 125 today. Both these pitchers were off in that department. Kevin Brown, 5 runs on 10 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts in just 5 2/3, and for the first time in Kevin Brown's career, he gave up 3 home runs in a ball game today. Now the Dodgers will have to go against the closer. Greg Olson wrote a great story last year with these numbers. He was a non-roster invitee last year and ended up being their star out of the bullpen with 30 saves and 64 appearances. He's in another save situation here. Gary Sheffield, 2 on, 1 down. Strike on the inside corner. 1 for 4 today, 1 for 3 lifetime off the 32-year-old right-hander. 1 strike count, 1 down. Sheffield waiting. And a strike on the outside corner by Olson. Vizcaino led this inning off with a single. Hansen a 1-out single. They are the 2 base runners for Sheffield. There they are at first and second.
Well, Sheffield didn't like either call. He thought 1 was in and 1 away. He's in a hole 0-2.
Diamondbacks 12 hits, the Dodgers 10. 10 pitchers in the game. Just missed outside with that one. Olson is tough. He's always around the strike zone. Likes to pick at you, and if you'll follow the pitch out of the strike zone, he'll go right with you and try it a little further next time around.
Studier and perseverance. Greg Olson, 4 years he struggled to get back to the big leagues.
1-2 delivery. Came back inside on him. He did not go around. Olson looked to first for a little help. Mark Hirschbeck said nope, no swing there. 2-2. Great matchup here.
No, did not go.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Sheffield, contact hitter with 2 on. Olson to him. Check swing called, strike 3 in the inside corner, and no argument there.
It was almost like a backup curveball. You look for a curveball down and away. Fastball in. Curveball. Strike 2. Sheffield in a hole. Miss with a curve. Miss with a fastball. And then he throws the curveball. You look for a curveball away. That ball was in, but it was a strike.
So the Dodgers with 1 out to work with here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Potential tying run remains at the plate. This time it's Raul Mondesi. Olson looking for the save. 2 on, 2 down. Mondesi takes it outside for a ball. The Dodgers today 3 for 12 with runners in scoring position. 3 singles, couple of RBIs in those situations. Mondesi being asked to come through here for the Dodgers. He's delivered an RBI in the 1st inning. Two for 3 lifetime against Olson. Inside. They are just taking the Cards off in St. Louis. That ball game is obviously not started. Rain delay. Second game of our triple-header with McGuire and the Cardinals taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Yes, it's nail-biting time. Two-0 count. Mondesi's got this count where he wants it against Olson. 3-0.
Well, don't be surprised if Davy Johnson gives Mondesi a green light right here. Raul will sit dead red, and if it's what he wants, why not let him hack and try to tie it up?
Runners take their leads at first and second base. Hansen and Vizcaino the base runners. 3-0 count. Mondesi, who draws very few walks. As the light rips it left field, if it's gone, it's tied. It's gone. It's tied. Raul Mondesi.
Have to feel snake bit. 2 bloops and then a blast. Olson 3-0. You got to know Mondesi's going to be swinging in that situation. He just laid a fastball in, and we're knotted at 6.
The Dodgers have erased a 4-run deficit, coming from 6-2 to tie it up in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 down on a 3-0 count to Raul Mondesi. Vizcaíno and Hansen ahead of him, and it is 6-6. Devon White and Olson, a blown save, and not out of danger yet. Mondesi getting the homer. This game, which was supposed to be a great pitcher's duel, has turned into a slugfest. 12 runs, 23 hits in this game. 2 away. 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball, strike of the knees, 1-2. Two home runs for Bernard Gilkey, and he can't believe what's happened. Probably neither can he. 1-2 delivery. Missed up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the Diamondbacks, of course, are faced with a situation of they've gone to their closer. Olson's the man. There's nowhere else to go. Two ball, 2 strike count. Delon White. Fastball, and we are going to go to the 10th inning. Mercy. What a comeback by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Raul Mondesi, 3-0 count, 2 down, 2 on. A 3-run homer. And a curtain call to go with it. This game is tied 6-6. Take you back to our Baseball Tonight studios. The hero, day 1, right now, is Raul Mondesi. As this game is tied at 6 with 1 swing of the bat with 2 down. And the 6th pitcher of the day for the Dodgers, Jeff Shaw, 32-year-old right-hander. We go to the 10th inning. And a fastball and a strike as Kelly Stinnett leads it off. 1 for 4 for the catcher today. Stinnett reaching. Shaw fielding his position. Karros.
Well, Mondesi got the count in his favor. 3 balls, no strikes, representing the tying run. Olson and Stinnett had to know that Mondesi would be pounding, and this was a no-doubter. Crowd that stayed goes absolutely berserk.
That's why you don't leave a ballpark. You miss a great comeback. And that was exciting.
Yeah, people want to get home before 11 o'clock, though. You have to leave by 4 to get home by 11 here on these freeways.
Not going to do it now. Andy Fox is the pinch hitter for the pitcher, Olson. Well, the 2 starters, Randy Johnson, Kevin Brown, both end up being non-decisioned in this game. Greg Olson takes a blown save. The bullpen deep for both of these teams here in game 1. 11 pitchers combined used in this ballgame. Shaw's in there with a strike. Quickly ahead of Andy Fox, 0-2.
Diamondbacks down to Frascatore and the left-hander Brian Anderson. The Dodgers are down to Dave Malicki.
This is only day 1, Dave.
I know. No off day tomorrow either. Although the weather forecast for Southern California not good at all for tomorrow.
Crazy as that, huh? Rain, maybe tonight and tomorrow.
Dodgers haven't been rained out 851 straight games. Might have some danger tomorrow, though.
A 1 ball, 2 strike count on Fox. Top of the order. Finley waiting on deck for the Diamondbacks. Two down.
Center fielder, number 12.
Shaw, fastball, cutter, slider, and a great split. Looks like he might have cut that one a little bit.
Came over from Cincinnati. Jeff Shaw did. Olson, who blew the save, can only watch now. He's out of the ball game with Fox pinch hitting for him. That pitch is taken up and away. Shaw had a tremendous season. 48 saves, 2.12 earned run average. Dodgers gave up something, Paul Konerko, Dennis Reyes, in order to get Shaw. Steve Finley. That's going to be playable. Shortstop is Cayeno. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom half of the 10th. Back to our Baseball Tonight studios. Well, they had to wait a long time to be this happy, but Dodger fans are now. As we go to the bottom of the 10th inning, they were all blondes when this game started. It's been a long game.
Well, Greg Olson gave up the 3-run homer to Raul Mondesi with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Watch his reaction. Off. Olson knew from the sound that game was tied.
One more run is all the Dodgers need here at Dodger Stadium to put away this opener. We're in the bottom of the 10th inning. John Frascatore out of the bullpen. And the pitch taken by Eric Karros. Karros has delivered an RBI single, 1 for 3 and a walk. The 69 games he appeared in for the Cardinals last year. All middle relief. Outside corner strike.
Well, the Diamondbacks were searching all spring for middle relief. They finally picked up Darren Holmes and Frascatore. Holmes, not a very good job today. Olson, their closer, couldn't get it done. Swindell came in and got his guy, and Reynoso really deserved better fate. He got nubbed for 2 hits. But Showalter went with his closer, as you would expect him to do, but Mondesi turned it all around.
Long day for both managers at different times. Someone's going to have a really long night. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Eric Karros. Threat here in the middle of the order with power. Todd Hundley will follow him. And Adrian Beltre due up. 2-2 with the bases empty. Off the fist. Souvenir. Mondo Reynoso gave up a couple of hits, was charged with those 2 runs in just 2/3 of an inning. While Olson worked 2/3 of an inning. He gave up a hit, which was the home run. Ended up being charged with a run that tied the ball game up. Right field. In the yard. Foul there and puts it away. So Karros the first out here in the 10th inning, 1 away.
One of the things the Diamondbacks did when they made the 2 defensive switches, bringing in DeLucci and Dante Powell, was weaken the offense a little bit. But you never know in a game like this, one of these young kids might become the hero. So, but with Gilkey and Gonzalez out, 2 of their more potent bats, the advantage certainly goes to the Dodgers. Not only have they got Jeff Shaw in, but they got the hammer being the home team.
Gilkey moving over from left field to right this year. Now Todd Hundley can cure this day in a hurry. He's had 4 strikeouts, all of them batting right-handed. This is where he has most of his power, and he has power. That one towards left center field. Finley will not get to it. Neither will DeLucia, and Todd Hundley is on with a 1-out single.
Well, there might have been one guy in the ballpark had Todd Hundley go to the 5th time that would have known how he felt. Rick Mundy, Dodger broadcaster and a terrific hitter, once fanned 5 times in a game. But I believe it was after he'd had a concussion. But Rick going, my record's safe.
You really start squeezing the pulp when you come up there after you've had that 4th strikeout for your 5th at-bat.
I had 3 in a row one time, but the 4th time I was starting to walk up and the manager yelled, "Get back here. We're pinch hitting for
Where
you."
do you think you're going? 1 away. Beltre up. John Frascatore on the mound for the Diamondbacks here in the 10th inning. And incredibly, if you have been with us throughout this game, the numbers are now 6 and 12 for both teams. 6 runs, 12 hits for both the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. 1 error in the game committed by the Diamondbacks. Game-ending cut. 1-1.
That's tough to hit when it's in on your letters.
You may see another one of those.
Yeah.
1 on, 1 down in the 10th. Fouled that one back.
Well, both clubs last year had a lot of trouble scoring runs. The Dodgers finished 24th in the big leagues. Diamondbacks 28th. You got Randy Johnson and Kevin Brown starting in the toughest park in the major leagues to score runs. Figured 6-6 in the 10th. Go figure baseball.
One-two delivery, tap foul. We remind you our second game, Mark McGwire and the Cardinals at home in their opener against the Milwaukee Brewers. That game has not yet started. They've had a rain delay. They're working on getting the field ready, and the starters are just beginning to warm up, so they are not underway yet in St. Louis.
Well, if this day stays according to form, Mark McGwire will probably steal 5 bases in that game.
That's right. Little chin music. Beltry goes down. He's been inclined on a couple of pitches to back out of there in a hurry with some great movement.
Yeah, I think Stinnett was pleading that the ball hit his bat. Beltry was pleading that it hit his hand, and Bruce Fleming said, neither. We're staying right here. It's a ball. You see Beltry grabbing at the hand. Stinnett saying, I caught a foul tip. And Fleming probably couldn't decide, so he probably made the wise choice.
That did look like it changed direction off the nub of the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hard to tell.
Did you hear something? I didn't.
I thought the movement looked like the ball had moved. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Beltry waiting. And he was set up for that one. Took that high heat, then had one down and away, 2 down.
Shortstop, number 5.
Good breaking ball from Frascatore. You also saw him bailing a little bit. After Frascatore had come in twice, the backside was leaving, and that really exposes the outside corner.
2 down, 10th inning. Hundley still on at first base. Jose Vizcaino batting in the number 9 spot. Picked up a big single leading off the bottom of the 9th inning. Came around to score on the homer by Mondesi that tied this game up. Strike 1.
Every hitter in baseball has the same weakness, up and in and low and away. But as you mature and learn the strike zone at the major league level, you learn to lay off those pitches. Those 2 pitches inside Beltry chased set him up for the 1 down and away. That's part of the maturing process. He's got wonderful skills, but it's still a learning process.
Frascatore with a 1 strike count. The Cardinals last year, left-handers hit .245 with 3 home runs off John Frascatore. Right-handers 264 with 8 home runs off the 29-year-old right-hander. Jose Vizcaino, a switch hitter. Outfield plays him around to left, though. Outside corner miss on that one. 2-1.
Well, the Cardinals obviously hurting in the starting pitching department with Matt Morris and Alan Bennis out, but they do think they really upgraded their bullpen. Guys like Radinsky, Metallico, to name a couple.
Both these teams are going to need deep starts tomorrow from their starters. Foul back. I mean, having gone to the bullpen, both of these teams have gone 6 deep. So tomorrow, for the 2 starters, Ho-Chan Park and Stottlemyre, they're going to need some innings.
Yeah, what was the old philosophy that managers of yore used to use? I'll use everybody today. It may rain tomorrow. It usually doesn't in Southern California, but they are predicting it.
2 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down, bottom of the 10th, 6-6. Vizcaino's gone. We go to the 11th. Frascatore with a couple of strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit. Dodgers leave 1 on. Dodgers won 9-8 in extra innings last year. The Diamondbacks 6-5 in their inaugural season in extra inning games. We go to the 11th. And Jeff Shaw remains on the mound for the Dodgers. Jay Bell leading it off, the good bunter. Lee and Williams to follow.
Shaw toiled 11 years before he made his mark. All of a sudden he's had back-to-back 40-plus save seasons. That's why scouts never give up on pitchers with good arms. But he toiled in the minors for a long while, had some coffee with Montreal and Cleveland. But all of a sudden, it all came together for him at age 30. And at age 32, he's one of the premier closers in the game.
He's got a 1-1 count. Bell looked as though he was going to have the game-winning RBIs in the 6th inning when Arizona batted around, knocking Kevin Brown out. It was his home run that took Brown out of the ball game. A 3 RBI shot in the 6th. The Dodgers battle back from a 6-2 deficit in this game. Tie it up 6-6, and we're in the 11th. Shaw misses outside with that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bell waiting. Outfield not particularly deep on him. 2-2 delivery. And he fouls that one off first base side, and there will not be a play on this one. Sunny section over there.
Simple math why the home team usually has the advantage in extra innings, especially if Shaw retires the side here in the top half of the 11th. That means that the Dodgers have 6 outs to the Diamondbacks 3 at that point. That's why the home team wins more often. If it goes to 12 innings and the Dodgers get 6 outs, the Diamondbacks only have 3 left.
2-2 delivery on the way, and he was fooled. He was looking for something off speed on that because he was not going to swing, then got caught way behind on it. Strikeout for Shaw.
Number 16, Chavez.
He tried to just foul it off to the right side, but was very late. You're right, Gary. He was looking something off speed.
2 strikeouts now for Shaw, who retired the side in order in the 10th inning. Bell retired, and that will bring up Lee. 2 for 5. Travis Lee takes the pitch outside for a ball. He scored in the 6th inning after picking up a single. He's also had a double in today's game. 1-0 count, so the batter is getting plenty of at-bats here. We're in the 11th inning. Fly ball, left center field, not particularly deep. Sheffield. 2 down. 2 away, bases empty. Everybody working overtime, including the Goodyear Blimp Eagle out of Carson, California. Goodyear has increased the blimp fleet to 6. They've added 2 airships, Europe, South America included. Joel Chamberlain, our pilot today. Joel, little OT for you today. 2 down. In the Diamondbacks half of the 11th inning, Shaw trying to set down 6 in a row will face Matt Williams. RBI single for Williams came in the 6th inning. And Williams takes that one for a ball.
This was no gimme on Sheffield. I think he was kind of wondering, where's Devon White? He staggered just a little bit. He wasn't quite sure.
It is amazing with these outfielders. Both Finley and White, the center fielders, their right and left fielders tend to take a long look to see where they are, kind of hoping. This one to center field. White is there for that one. Shaw's retired all 6 batters he's faced. Dodgers coming up, bottom half of the 11th inning. They'll have the top of the order due up when we come back in this 6-6 game. Those who have hung are getting to see a great finish in a ball game highlighted by the hitters. Bottom half of the 11th inning coming up. Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Bernard Gilkey, 2 home runs in the game. That one came in the 6th inning. Jay Bell, a 3-run shot. Same inning. Looked like this man was going to get a win. Randy Johnson pitched well, but Raul Mondesi at a 3-0 count, bottom of the 9th. 3-run homer to tie this game up.
Number 21, second baseman, Eric.
Game summary, home runs. 4 of them in the ball game by the 5 of them total. 2 by Gilkey, Bell, White, Mondesi.
Just what we thought, a pitcher's duel here in L.A.
As Dizzy Dean would say, who'd have come?
John Frascatore's on the mound, top of the order, young. Wilkins has come out to pitch it for the Dodgers with a pitcher hitting in the number 2 spot. There's Wilkins, and Dave Malicki is up in the bullpen now. The Dodgers starter may get an opportunity in relief. He hopes not. If he doesn't, it means the Dodgers win it right here. 2-0 count. Frascatore gets an inside corner strike. A very active day for Eric Young in that leadoff spot. He walked and scored in the first inning. He singled, walked, hit by a pitch. Finally got him on a pop out his last at bat. Pescatore struck out a couple, given up a hit, and comes back to even the count at 2-2.
One thing I've really seen in Eric Young I like today, a lot of times he's had the count 2-0. A lot of hitters be jumping off their feet to swing, but he knows his job's to get aboard. He's taking a lot of 2-0 strikes.
And the 2-2 is chopped foul at the plate. Love to see that in those leadoff hitters taking a lot of pitches so that the rest of the team gets to see, so that the opposing pitcher has to throw, and it increases your opportunity to get on base.
It's one of the great keys to the New York Yankees. Their lineup is just relentless, making you throw pitches.
And the 2-2 hit pretty well to center. Finley back. Young is retired. Leadoff man gone here in the 11th inning. So Jeff Shaw comes out of the ball game, having worked in relief for 2 very solid innings. Gave up nothing. Retired all 6, struck out a couple.
Your attention,
Good job
please.
by Jeff Shaw.
For the Dodgers,
They have to go again. It'll be
batting
Dave
for
Malicki.
Shaw, number 46, Rick Wilkins.
Rick Wilkins will be the pinch hitter. We are getting to see all of these rosters for these 2 teams today. Rick Wilkins added to the roster yesterday, along with Jacob Brumfield and Pedro Borbon, who we've seen in this game. Wilkins was added. Trinidad Hubbard was a surprise send down by the Dodgers, opening up the spot. 0-1 delivery to him, and Wilkins fouls it off. Quickly a 2-strike count.
Well, Rick's obviously a veteran player who's been around. I think he might have been as surprised as anybody about making the roster, but he had a good spring with the bat. Hundley with the arm problems. They have a great young catcher also. They got Paul Loduca on the club, but they also have a kid named Angel Pena that is really their catcher of the future.
Wilkins swings and misses. Hit .393 in the spring, and in his first at bat here, he is gone. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the 11th. Don't forget the 10th year of Wednesday Night Baseball kicking off with Sammy Sosa, National League MVP, and the Chicago Cubs taking on Houston. 10:30, the American League Central champion Indians take on Anaheim. Mo Vaughn there, of course. It's coming up Wednesday starting at 7:30. That one taken for a strike.
Yeah, another thing that probably helped Wilkins' chances at the expense of another injury. Todd Hollinsworth had a great spring and then pulled a hamstring in Anaheim on Friday night. He went on the DL, so they get the extra left-handed bat, Wilkins, instead of Hubbard's right-handed bat. I'm sure that isn't any consolation to Trinidad.
Nope, he thought he was on, but seasons are long and one never knows. Pescatore, 1-1 strike taken by Gary Sheffield, who didn't like the call. He's argued with Frumming a couple of times today.
Well, Sheffield had the bat frozen on his shoulder last time. That ball from that angle appeared outside, although our camera's a little off center.
And that one is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is the first of our triple header. Cardinals with a rain delay at home against the Brewers, waiting to get started. That'll be our second game. Yankees here on the West Coast against the A's, 10:30 tonight.
You and I are doing all 3.
I got the plane right outside. They are just underway in St. Louis. 2-2 delivery. Missed down low. Sheffield with that big wiggle of the bat. The count goes to 3-2. Two down. Bases empty. 6-6 in the 11th. He wanted to put the ball game away with that cut. It remains 3-2. Sheffield has gone 3 for 7 lifetime against Pescatore. These managers both now have really got to be going, oof, wait a minute, this thing doesn't get over pretty soon. Where am I going to go here for pitching? 3 ball, 2 strike count. And Sheffield draws the walk. 2 2-out walk in the 11th for Mondesi.
Well, the Raul is being yelled throughout the crowd.
Right fielder, number 43, Raul Mondesi.
Can he do it again? He's tied it up with a 3-run homer. Now he's got a chance to win it.
Well, even though this is a lot different Diamondback club than a year ago, this would be devastating. Lose a 6-3 lead in the 9th inning, especially after the bad start they had last year.
Mondesi takes it inside from Frascatore. 30 home runs, 90 RBIs for Mondesi last year. He has added 4 RBIs to his career total today. A single in the first and the 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th to tie the ball game up. Frascatore's got 2 down. Hanging very close. Sheffield at first.
Gary might run with 2 strikes, or if Frascatore doesn't pay attention to him, but I think you got to let Mondesi swing up at least until 2 strikes. Sheffield very capable of stealing a base, though.
Well, Mondesi 4 for 8 lifetime off Frascatore. Drills that one. Do you believe it? Way back. Raul Mondesi, an LA hero. A 2-run homer, bottom of the 11th inning. To go with a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th. And the Dodgers win 8-6.
Devastating for the Diamondbacks, but Raul Mondesi puts a capper on a brilliant afternoon. He knows he's got that one. 5 RBIs in the 9th and 11th innings for Mondesi.
His 9th career 2-homer game, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs for Raul Mondesi. And the Dodgers come from a 6-2 deficit to win this ball game in 11 innings by a score of 8-6, ties his career high RBIs in a single game. Coming up next, the Cardinals at home. Gary Thorne, Dave Campbell.